Okay. Okay, I got you. Okay. Okay, I'll know next time. Okay, no problem. So. Okay. So anyway, I'm talking into the mic right now. So, let me know if everything's coming through loud and clear, and hopefully so. Okay. Rob didn't tell me what, but yeah, So anyway, I'm talking into the mic, so hopefully you're picking me up okay. And okay, and also Rob told me to do a what do you call it? Um, I would like to do a countdown for like 5 minutes or something, or like every minute until I go on. Um, uh huh. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. No problem. All right. Well, so. Yeah. Oh, okay. 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 That's great. All right. Well, that. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. All right. Bye bye. Hello. Yes. Yes. I just connected a couple minute ago. I just got the phone. Okay. All right. And start at 6:45 still. Okay. 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 All right. No problem. Thanks. Okay. Bye. Here are tonight's starters from Franklin Community High School. On offense at left tackle, number 59, James Johnston. At left guard, number 71, Anthony Easton. At center, number 53, Parker Shepard. At right guard, number 52, RJ. All right, 5 minutes from now. Okay, 4 minutes and 20 seconds here. Four 10. Four minutes. Okay, 3:45. By the way, they're about to do the national anthem, so I might not be able to. Well, I'll try. Try to let you know anyway and be discreet about it, so I don't cause any disturbance. At 3:45 now, or excuse me, 3.5 now till I go on. $3:15.
3 minutes. .245. .230. Okay, they're doing the national anthem now. 2:15. Two minutes. A minute 30. One minute. .30 seconds. .15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. The Kevin Kersey Agency presents Hendricks County Friday Night Football on WYRZ and powered by Audiosportsonline.com. Tonight's game is underwritten by the Kevin Kersey Agency of Brownsburg, Westside Plumbing, Heating and Air, UPS, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, Crane Credit Union, Wicker Construction, Gunnell and Kinneman LLP, Jimmy John's, KG Enterprises, and Hoosier Tent and Party Rental. Hello and welcome to the campus of Plainfield High School. My name is Lec Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Plainfield Quakers challenge the Franklin Grizzly Cubs in Week 7 of the Indiana high school football season. Well, your Quakers entered the last third of the regular season with a record of 3-3, having lost badly to their three marquee opponents, 58-32 against Avon, currently the number 10 ranked team in Class 6A, 45-20 against 9-time state champion Roncalli, currently the number 1 team in Class 5A, and 63-28 last week against Decatur Central, currently the number 5 ranked team in Class 5A. However, Plainfield was stellar in its 3 wins, 21-7 over 4-time state champion Tri-West, 54-14 over Mid-State Conference rival Mooresville, and 63-27 over Greenwood, currently the number 12 team in Class 4A. But more importantly, the Quakers so far have avoided the major injuries that have plagued them very badly in the last 4 seasons, and that's particularly important as they play in the toughest sectional in their class. Tonight, Plainfield tries to move back above 500 against the Franklin Grizzly Cubs, a team that hasn't had a winning record in 21 years and enters this game with a record of 1-5. Franklin is trying to get back on track with new head coach Chris Cole, who spent the last 11 seasons as the head coach at Tri-West, winning the Class 3A championship back in 2014. Now, so far this season, Plainfield has rushed 212 times and passed 140, a ratio of 1.5 to 1. As expected, junior quarterback Ben Slayton has been the focal point of the Quakers' offense and has overall done a good job, especially for having played against such tough competition and having lost his two top receivers from last season, Gavin Ritter and Dante Keys, both of whom are now playing collegiately. In his second full season as a starter, Slayton has completed 73 of 137 passes, 53.3%, for 1,170 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. His two leading receivers are junior Cade Ritter, who has 23 receptions for 370 yards and 3 touchdowns, and senior Gavin Jacobs, who has 19 receptions for 333 yards and 5 touchdowns. On the ground, Plainfield is led for the second consecutive season by superstar senior Dawson Anderson, who has 110 rushes for 634 yards and 10 touchdowns. Junior Tavian Gadia has also contributed heavily with 62 rushes for 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Franklin has rushed 197 times and passed 137, a ratio of 1.4 to 1. Sophomore Drew Byerly has completed 61 of 137 passes, 44.5%, for 766 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. His two leading receivers are senior Riley McCann, who has 26 receptions for 392 yards and 3 touchdowns, and senior Blake Dicken, who has 14 receptions for 122 yards and 1 touchdown. Aforementioned sophomore quarterback Drew Byerly is also the team's leading rusher with 70 rushes for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns, including a 98-yard rush. He's followed by senior Tyler Fromer, who has 101 rushes for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns. Plainfield's head coach is Brian Woodard, who's 72-55 in his 12th season with the Quakers. Franklin's head coach is Chris Cole, who's 1-5 in his first season with the Grizzly Cubs, and 80-48 in his 12th season overall. As I alluded to earlier, he spent the last 11 seasons as the head coach of Tri-West here in Hendricks County, and so he's in his 12th season overall. And at this time, we'll take a short pause for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Plainfield Franklin coming at you live under the Friday Night Lights. Next. The Kevin Kersey Insurance Agency of the Farmers Insurance Group helps with home, auto, life, or business needs. They're located at 480 East Northfield Drive, Suite 300 in Brownsburg, next to Bill Estes Ford. Their phone number is 317-286-3481. They're also found on Facebook at the Kevin Kersey Agency or at their website, farmersagent.com/kkersey. That's farmersagent.com/KERZE. Farmersagent.com/KERZEE. That's farmersagent.com/KERZEE. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. That's PANOONY.com. They're located at 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. That's 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. The phone number is 317-286-3500. That's 317-286-3500. They're open Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air offers residential heating and conditioning, maintenance. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air offers residential heating and air conditioning, maintenance, repair, and replacement, and serves all of Hendricks County and West Indianapolis. Their phone number is 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. More information can be found at westsideplumbing.net and their Facebook page by searching for Westside Plumbing. The new Plainfield UPS store is now hiring part-time package handlers and part-time supervisors for 3 different shifts: morning, evening, and late night. A weekly retention bonus, pension, benefits, and college tuition reimbursements are available for part-time UPS employees. More information on our available positions, online applications, and scheduling scheduling an interview can be found at upsjobs.com. That's upsjobs.com. Crane Credit Union can assist when buying a home or car. Paying bills and depositing checks, as well as making loan payments, can be done on smartphones with their mobile app 24 hours a day. Located in 27 Indiana counties, more information can be found at cranecu.com. That's CRANECU.org. That's CRANECU.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. They're located at 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Their phone number is 317-286-3500. They're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Friday and Saturday open until 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air offers residential heating and air conditioning maintenance, repair, and replacement, and serves all of Hendricks County and West Indianapolis. Their phone number is 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. More information can be found at westsideplumbing.net and their Facebook page by searching for Westside Plumbing. For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction is engaged in building homes and remodeling projects. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand their lifestyle and construction needs. Their phone number is 839-8353. That's 839-8353. Jimmy John's offers delivery and catering. They're located at 2683 East Main Street next to BW3s and open from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Saturday. More information can be found at 837-8282. That's 837-8282. Or online at jimmyjohns.com. That's jimmyjohns.com. Gunnell & Kinneman Financial Accounting, Tax, and Wealth Managers is available to answer questions you may have when it comes to retirement. Their phone number is 317-203-4433. That's 317-203-4433. And their email is info@gkfin.com. That's info@gkfin.com. Hoosier Tent and Party Rental is located at 101042 Bradford Road in Avon. That's 101042 Bradford Road in Avon, and has been serving Hendricks County with party rental supplies since 2001. More information can be found at 317-272-9746. That's 317-272-9746. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're just a few minutes away from kickoff. It's a beautiful evening here in Plainfield, especially considering that this is week 7 of the season here on September the 29th. It's a perfect 72 degrees under an almost completely clear sky still. Got a lot of blue in the sky. The sunset is scheduled for, sunset scheduled for 7:30, which is 32 minutes from now. Yeah, 6 weeks ago on the opening night, sunset was 8:37, so we've been losing right around 10 minutes a week. And, we have a really nice crowd here tonight. Here we probably have about 2,000 fans here on the Plainfield side, including several in the standing room. And then we have about 100 Franklin fans who made the trip, which normally would be about 35 to 40 minutes, probably more like an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes under I-65, US 31, and I-465 traffic. So they really have a hard time getting the fans here. They'll probably have quite a few file in late just because they got stuck in traffic, especially those who had to work till 5 or 5:30. So, high school football in Indiana has just exploded in popularity in the last 15 to 20 years. And the only problem is that by the time, the intensity's cranked up late in the season for these late season games as the teams are trying to tune up for the playoffs, and then in the playoffs themselves, we just have such we get a lot of bad weather, and it really hurts the attendance. So we get usually far more attendance earlier in the season. But this year, this is really great weather for week 7, and it's great to see so many fans made the trip out there tonight. Last Friday I was down commentating Cascade at Owen Valley, which is located in Spencer, about 50 miles southwest of here. And it got up to 93 degrees earlier that day. I was just walking around the community, sweating like a pig. And then, it was 86 around the time of kickoff. And I commented that, it might be the first time ever I've commentated a game, because I believe it's the hottest game I've ever commentated, and this is my 6th season, and tonight is my 65th varsity game that I've commentated. But besides that, it's it's really odd that the hottest game I commentated would be in week 6 of the season, and it might be the first game I ever commentated where the crowd was actually hurt by the heat. And I think especially the road crowd might have been hurt. I think we maybe had 75 Cascade fans there, and I can imagine that a lot of them maybe ordinarily would have made the trip, which is about 40 miles from there, but they just didn't want to put up with all that awful heat. The heat of the especially if they didn't have air conditioning in their car, they wouldn't want to put up with that kind of awful heat. So, for the hour and 15-minute drive down there. So now getting ready to kick off for the Grizzly Cubs. Got Dylan Baston. He's a junior. Kicks deep. And is fielded at about, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. It was off the hands there of Logan Burden, who's also a junior. So only 1 second runs off the clock, so the Quakers will be taking over with 11:59 to go here in the 11:59 to go here in the first quarter at Plainfield. This is homecoming night for the Quakers, so I'm sure that's helped the crowd quite a bit. So now first play from scrimmage, handoff to Dawson Anderson. He's up for about 10 yards. And I think he's going to be marked maybe a yard short of the first. They give him credit for 9. So one receiver to the left, 2 to the right, Anderson to the backfield. Ben Slayton, the starting quarterback in shotgun, hands off. And Anderson has the first down and more. He gets about 6 or 7 yards. So, and I apologize, that's Mason Burgess in there at quarterback. No, I'm sorry, that is Dalton, excuse me. I misread the 19 and the 18, so I apologize there. So we've got, now it's 1st and 10 at the 37 for the Quakers. 2 plays, 2 Dawson Anderson rushes. So now, high snap, and he gets it to Anderson, who plows up the middle for about another 5 or 6. So Dawson Anderson, the go-to guy so far for the Quakers. No surprise. Anderson's averaging just under 6 yards a carry on the season. I always say 3.4 per carry is all that you need. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And they give it to Anderson again. This time he's up for 2. That's his shortest gain of the evening. So I'll bring up about 3rd and 3. Just a little over a minute gone here in the game. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. We got some movement at the line, and we got a flag before the snap. It's going to be offsides against Franklin, so that's an automatic first down. Last Friday at hold that thought. Hopefully I'll remember to get to it later on. But 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Slayton in shotgun. This time Tavian Gady's in the backfield. Gady gets it. He's got a hole up the middle, and he gains 5 or 6. 10:31 to go. So 5 plays from scrimmage for the Quakers. All of them rushes. So Tavian Gady only 5'4", 170. Hopefully he'll grow a few more inches, but nevertheless he's doing a great job, and he should be carrying the load next year on rushing after Dawson Anderson graduates. And by the way, Gavia gets credit for 6 on that last play. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gadia, the running back. Slayton in shotgun. Pitch back to Gadia. He's got some room over the right side. He's got the first down and more. Breaks through. Breslin 25-20. And now he's inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds around the 6. So Tavian Gadia, a gain of about 38 yards. And he's got the Quakers knocking on the door of opening the scoring here with 9:53 to go here in the first quarter. They're marking him out at the 9. He didn't get quite as good a spot as I hoped, but still he picked up 35 yards on that carry. So now we've got Gavin Jacobs and Cade Ritter lined up to the left. Cade Ritter taking the number vacated by his, I guess, older brother Gavin, who was a 3-year starter, graduated this year, was a senior on last year's team, now playing college ball at DePaul, about 30 or 40 miles west of here, down US 40 in Greencastle. So now, handoff to Gadia. He got some room up the middle, and he takes it up for, he's going to be close to the goal line. Let's see where they mark him. TG13 is what they're calling him. Okay, because 13 is his number. TG is his initials, of course. So they give Gadia credit for 8. 2nd and goal at the 1. Hand off to Gadia again, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown easily. They created a nice hole for him, and he went in, at moderate speed. So 9:28 to go here in the first quarter. Plainfield hoping for a big win tonight. Franklin, like I said, no winning seasons since 1996, 1-5 this year, although they do enter this game on a relative hot streak. In that last week, they did get their first win of the season. So now we've got Landon Williams here on the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So 2 minutes and 32 seconds is all it takes for the Quakers to strike first blood. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 7-0. Here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com. Since 1968, the Kersey family has been helping customers with insurance needs. They have insurance coverage for homes, autos, and recreational vehicles. They're located at 480 East Northfield Drive, Suite 300 in Brownsburg, next to Bill Estes Ford. That's 480 East Northfield Drive. Their phone number is 317-286-3481. That's 317-286-3481. They're also found on Facebook at the Kevin Kersey Agency, or on their website at farmersagent.com/K-Kersey. That's farmersagent.com/K-Kerzee. The Kevin Kersey Agency is a member of the Farmers Insurance Group. Well, back here at Plainfield, your Quakers have just opened up a 7-0 lead over the conference rival and visiting Franklin Grizzly Cubs, 7-0 on a 1-yard touchdown rush by Tavian Gadia and an extra point by Landon Williams. Now Williams set to kick off here. 9:28 to go here in the first quarter. It's a squib, and it takes a nice bounce, fielded at the 21, and brought up to about the 27. That was a return there of about 6 yards for Franklin by Wyatt Strain. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 170. So now we'll get our first look of the game at the Grizzly Cubs offense. Well, Franklin last week got their first win of the season, and it was a win in a big margin. Oh, it was a win by a very big margin, granted over a not marquee opponent, Mooresville, who's themselves are rebuilding this year. And now, first play from the fakes pass there, and thrown over for a gain of about 6 or 8 yards. So, yeah, that was to Blake Dickon there on a screen from Drew Byerly, because there were Brierleys where I grew up, so I have to be really careful on that name. So now we have Riley McCann and Blake Dickon, the team's 2 leading receivers, lined up to the left. Drew Byerly is in quarterback with 2 running backs. Now another, and this is way overthrown. I think there's some very bad communication because McCann looked like he was expecting a little screen pass, and Byerly threw about 10 yards further downfield. So 3rd and 2 now for the Grizzly Cubs on their first drive. Each team has roughly a 1.5 to 1 rush pass ratio. So now Blake Dickon lined up to the left. We got another receiver to the right, Byerly in, and now they're all over him, and he's sacked. So all of a sudden, after it was 2nd and 2, now an incomplete pass and a sack. And now it looks like the Grizzly Cubs are going to punt here on their first possession as the clock hits the 9-minute mark here in the first quarter. You know, by the way, this is a particularly special evening for us because tonight we're not only coming to you live on audiosportsonline.com, but we're coming to you on the regular radio here on 98.9 FM WYRZ. This is the Hendricks County Game of the Week, I'm excited to say. Always makes the game even more special. So now a high short punt. It bounces at the 35, takes a nice Franklin bounce down to the 25, now down to the 20, and now it's still rolling down past the 15, and it downed at the 12. So a 57-yard punt there. So the Quakers take over in bad field position, but that might not be much of an obstacle for an offense that ran the ball very easily on their first possession, where they went they went 80 yards on 8 plays in 2 minutes and 32 seconds, capped off by a 1-yard touchdown rush. And now a handoff to Dawson Anderson, who's up for just about 1 or 2. They were ready for him that time. I believe that's the shortest rush of the game. By the way, I apologize. I just looking at my scoring sheet here. I see that I incorrectly attributed that first touchdown to Tavian Gadia. It was actually Dawson Anderson, who I did not realize that he had come back into the game for Gadia. So I'll make sure I watch the substitutions a little more. But now Anderson gets it again, and he might have the first down. He's up for about 8. Yes, he did get the first down. So 7:51 to go. The clock stops to move the chains. The Quakers trying to seize control of this game. Franklin's drive got off to a good start with an 8-yard pass, but then it stalled from there with an incomplete pass and a sack. Now, Plainfield trying to open up a 2-possession lead. The lights are on here in Plainfield. And now a keeper there, direct snap to Anderson, to Gadia, and he's got some room on the left side. He's down to the 50, 45, 30, and now is brought down at the 15, so that's a gain of over 50 yards. So that's 63 yards there. So everything going right so far in the early going for your Quakers. That was a direct snap there to Tavian Gadia. I believe that's a season long. Let me check my stat sheet here. No, he has a 70-yarder. And now, handoff there again to, this time it was, that was Gadia again, but we got a flag. He got up for about 8 yards, but let's see if it will count or not. 7:05 to go here. The clock stopped. Anyway, whether you're a loyal Quaker fan who regularly listens on audiosportsonline.com or whether you're just a Hendricks County football fan in general who hasn't tuned into the Quakers this year, glad to have you with us. My name is Lec Zorn. And for those of you watching the video broadcast on audiosportsonline.com, Doug Edens is working the camera. So if you're listening on the radio and you would like to see video too, just tune in, go into audiosportsonline.com and select Plainfield Quakers. And we'll be right there. So the call is against the Grizzly Cubs, so it's 1st and goal at the 4. Now Dawson Anderson, the running back. 2 receivers out to the right. Now direct snap there to Anderson, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So Dawson Anderson with his second touchdown in the first 5:05 of the game. And I apologize for the lack of emotion on that call, but the Quakers are just putting on a clinic. I mean, this looks so far, granted less than a half a quarter in, but this looks like just an intra-squad scrimmage. I mean, it looks like the annual red-white game. Franklin has had no answer so far to the rushing attack. Slayton, possibly, and the extra point is good. Slayton, probably the best junior quarterback in the state. He has not even thrown a pass so far. He hasn't needed to. And he might not at the rate we're going. So anyway, with 6:55 to go here in the first quarter here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com, your Plainfield Quakers all over the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 14-0. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. That's PANOONY.com. They're located at 1447-1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Their phone number is 317-286-3500. That's 317-286-3500. Open Sunday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday open till 11 p.m. Well, back here at Plainfield, there's another squib kick there by Williams. It takes a really odd bounce there at the 21 and is brought up to about the 30. This time it was Ranger Soots on the return. And I remember Soots mainly for his name. I called this game last year at Franklin when these two teams played down there. That was another Plainfield win. In fact, I've commentated the last three games that Plainfield has played at Franklin, 2012, 2014, and 2016. The Quakers play there every odd-numbered year, and then the Grizzly Cubs visit here. No, I'm sorry, the Quakers visit Franklin every even-numbered year. The Grizzly Cubs visit here every odd-numbered year. So now a rush is going to be stopped for just about a 1-yard gain. Let me see who that was there. That was Tyler Fromer there. He is a senior for the Grizzly Cubs. So second, they give him credit for 2. So 2nd and 8 for the Grizzly Cubs. Now a snap. Now fakes the handoff. Byerly takes it himself, but he only gets maybe 1 or 2. Byerly is a fairly good rusher for Plainfield. And but he didn't pick up much on that one. 3rd and 7, they give him credit for just 1. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 2 running backs, Byerly and shotgun. 5:44 to go here in the first quarter. Very critical 3rd down for the Grizzly Cubs. High snap, and this time he avoids a snap. He's got room on the left side. He takes it. He's got the first down past the 40, past the 45. So nice gain there after nearly being sacked, which would have brought up a 4th and long, and now the Grizzly Cubs move the chains for the first time tonight, as that's a gain of about 14 yards there by the starting quarterback, Drew Byerly. He is the team's leading rusher, 70 rushes for 450 yards coming into tonight. That's 6.4 a carry. Tyler Fromer is the leading running back rusher. So now the Grizzly Cubs line up with Carson Bristol and Riley McCann to the left. Byerly in shotgun with 2 running backs. Now handoff, and this time he's brought down for a loss of about 2, maybe 3. That was Hunter Samples. He is a sophomore. 4:50 to go now. The Grizzly Cubs break huddle. And they line up with Blake Dicken to the left, along with 2 receivers to the right. Byerly in shotgun. I believe he's taken every snap from shotgun so far. 2nd and 12 at the Franklin 45. Now fix the handoff. He tries to run with it himself, and he throws just to get rid of it. It could have been intentional grounding, but it wasn't. I guess they decided he threw at least close enough to a receiver. I didn't think he did. I thought it was intentional grounding. Nevertheless, 3rd and 12, so another dreaded 3rd and long for the Grizzly Cubs.
That's called intentional grounding, ref.
Yeah, Doug Edens, the cameraman here, called for intentional grounding. He seems pretty sure about it, too, so I guess it wasn't just my imagination. But anyway, 14-0 here in the first quarter, 4:24 to go. Your Plainfield Quakers on top of Franklin. Here on homecoming night, Franklin has the ball at their own 45, 3rd and 12. So now Byerly takes it, and he nearly sacked again. Screen pass, he gets it away. He's up to the 45, 50, 45. He's got the first down up past the 40. So that's 2 times on this possession that the Grizzly Cubs have converted on third and long, so showing some good resilience there. That pass went to Riley McCann for a gain of about 16. Oh, they're marking him down at the 40. So now McCann lines up to the left along with two receivers to the right. High snap there, fakes the handoff. The screen pass to the left, and it is incomplete. It hit the ground, and then McCann picked it up, but the referee whistled it dead. So 3:53 to go here in the first quarter at Franklin. So now McCann and Dickon lined up to the left. Two receivers to the right. High snap, fakes the handoff. Now completed over there to McCann, and he's got a first down on the left side just inside the 30. 3:47 to go, and the clock will stop. So the Quakers now, the Grizzly Cubs finally starting to relax and get into the groove on offense after, but, now the question is, do they have, what it takes? Will their defense be able to stop the Quakers enough for the offense to make a comeback here? So now with three receivers to the right, one to the left. One running back, and it goes over his head, and Byerly falls on it back around the 40, so it's going to be a huge loss. They're bringing up about, that's a loss of, they're marking him back, at the 39, so a 10-yard loss there for the Grizzly Cubs. So now, same formation here, but 20 yards back, 2nd and 20. 3 first downs for the, and now a handoff there. And this time, he's up the middle for about 3 or 4 yards there. So that'll bring up the third and very long, about 3rd and 17 or so. 2:51 to go and counting here in the first quarter at Plainfield. So now McCann lining up to the right. Then we got Noah Crow and Blake Dickon and one other receiver. And now a handoff there to and he's sacked. He dodged one sack, started to run with it, and then he was crunched. So that'll bring up 4th and long for about 4th and 20. So let's see. Will the Grizzly Cubs? It looks like they are going for it. They've converted twice on this drive already on 3rd and long. Maybe they think they have a 4th and long in them. Let's see. I figured they would punt and try to get Plainfield down inside the 5, but maybe there's that afraid of the the Quakers taking a 3-possession lead. So now we've got McCann lined up to the right, to the left. 2 receivers to the right, 2 running backs. Byerly in shotgun, and we've got a timeout. I believe Franklin has taken their first timeout. Yes, Franklin's taking a timeout with 1:49 to go. So in the WYRZ game of the week, your Plainfield Quakers off to a great start. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 14-0 here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is looking for employees with at least 2 years' experience as a journeyman plumber. More information can be found by calling 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is a supporter of community radio. Crane Credit Union the new Plainfield UPS is now hiring part-time package handlers. And hold that thought. We'll get back to that after at our next break. Well, back here at Plainfield, your Plainfield Quakers are trying to get the ball back and take a 3-possession lead. Franklin has the ball 4th and 22 on the Plainfield 41 and are going for it. Byerly looks downfield. He throws deep down the right side. He's got a man open. Just overthrown. Incomplete. So your Quakers take over on downs with 1:43 to go here in the first quarter. Well, I'll tell you, if the Quakers if the Quakers get any score, even a field goal on this drive, they'll have a 3-possession lead. And I'll tell you, the way they've played so far, the way they've played tonight, 13 rushes for 159 yards, and no passes. I've seen, so far Franklin showed me nothing to show that they can contain this offense. So, a 3-possession lead, and, you don't want to get overconfident, but that could very well be enough to pretty well put this game out of reach for Franklin. So Dawson Anderson starts off the drive with a gain of 2 or 3 up the middle. 1:30 to go here in the first quarter. We got a very nice breeze coming in to the press box here at Plainfield. This is game 7 out of 9 in the regular season. The playoffs start 3 weeks from tonight, though your Quakers, chances are, will have a first-round bye. We'll know for sure on Sunday night. And now the snap is over his head, and Anderson falls on it. So the first play of negative yardage all game for the Quakers. And I'll tell you, Franklin might need 3 or 4 breaks like that if they're going to have any chance to pull this out now. So that'll bring up 3rd and 18. And that greatly increases the chances that Franklin will hold the Quakers without any points on this drive. That's a loss of about 10 yards there. So now the Quakers line up 2 receivers to each side. 1 running back. Slayton in shotgun. Screen pass. His first pass of the game, it's completed. And he breaks a tackle, and he gets about 10 yards, but he's going to be far short of the first down. He broke a couple of tackles there. That was a lot of toughness there. I could not tell who. Okay. That was Tyler McCarty there on the reception. They give him credit for 8 yards, and that will be the end of the first quarter. So, as we head to the second quarter here on homecoming night at Plainfield, your Quakers giving their alumni a great show so far. They lead Franklin by a score of 14-0 here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com. The new Plainfield UPS is now hiring part-time package handlers and part-time supervisors for 3 different shifts, morning, evening, and late night. A weekly retention bonus, pension, benefits, and college tuition reimbursements are available for part-time UPS employees. More information on available positions, online applications, and scheduling an interview can be found at upsjobs.com. Crane Credit Union in Plainfield offers loans, saving accounts, as well as online bill paying and banking. They're located at 905 Southfield Drive in Plainfield. That's 905 Southfield Drive in Plainfield. And their office hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4, Fridays 9 to 6, and Saturdays 9 to 12. More information can be found at cranecu.org. That's cranecu, cranecu.org. And their phone number is 317-838-8300. That's 317-838-8300. 317-838-8300. 317-838-8300. Crane Credit Union is a nonprofit bank. So now back here at Plainfield, we start off the second quarter with a punt. It is going to bounce at the 30. Takes a nice Plainfield bounce inside the 20, inside the 15. And so both punts taking really long bounces in favor of the punting team tonight. And I think it's down to, let's see, I couldn't tell where the Plainfield player touched it. It looks like they're going to mark it down at the 14. 11:49 to go here. So that was a 45-yard punt there by the Quakers. So I'll tell you, Franklin really lucked out on that bad snap that resulted in the approximately 10-yard loss for the Grizzly Cubs. In fact, it was so each team with a 10-yard loss on a bad snap tonight. Because otherwise, I think Plainfield would have gotten a score to make it a 3-possession lead. As it is now, Franklin has the ball with a chance to make it a 1-possession lead here. So now Dickens, a high snap. He hands it off, and it's brought up for a gain of about 4 or 5. That was Tyler Fromer there. Fromer, the team's second leading rusher on the season. 11:30 to go now here in the second quarter. Franklin leading 14-0. Plainfield leading 14-0. Franklin with the ball, trying to get back into it. So one receiver to each side, two running backs. Byerly takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He throws it. It's intercepted, and it's going to be returned for a touchdown. Oh, my God. No, he's knocked out of bounds at the 1. But, wow. And that was not, by the way, that was not Byerly's fault. It was thrown well to the receiver, but it tipped off his hands, and it was picked up there. It was intercepted there by Colin Dorsett, who's a junior for the Quakers, 5'8", 150. Okay, they're marking him at the 2. So the Grizzly Cubs made a touchdown-saving tackle, but it might be all for naught, because Quakers likely will get a score here. Dawson Anderson is the running back. If I were a betting man, I would say he's probably going to get the ball here. And if I were a betting man, I'd say he's going to score a touchdown here. No, actually, he's going to take a direct snap. It looks like no, they call timeout. So the Quakers take their first timeout with 11:02 to go here in the first quarter on audiosportsonline.com and 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. That's PANOONY.com. They're located at 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Their phone number is 317-286-3500, and they're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is looking for employees with at least 2 years' experience as a journeyman plumber. More information can be found by calling 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is a supporter of community radio. Well, back here at Plainfield, you're listening to the WYRZ Game of the Week with your Plainfield Quakers on top of the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 14-0. And very possibly about to add to that lead. Plainfield has it first and goal at the 2, coming off of an interception. So now Gadia back there to take the snap. Anderson, and he walks into the end zone for a touchdown. So Dawson Anderson with his third touchdown of the game, coming with 10:59 to go in the third quarter, and it looks like the Quakers are going to roll with this one. So, almost with the exception of, this would be an A-plus performance if it weren't for that one bad snap. That's the only blemish in this game for the Quakers so far. So now Landon Williams on the extra point, trying to go 3 for 3. And it is good. So just barely over a quarter into this game, your Plainfield Quakers apparently on their way to a big homecoming victory. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 21-0 here on 98.9 FM, WYRZ, the voice of Hendricks County, and audiosportsonline.com. For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building homes and remodeling projects. Wicker Construction works with the client to understand their lifestyle and construction needs. Their phone number is 839-8353. That's 839-8353. Well, back here at Plainfield, all is right with the world for your Quakers. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 21-0 here in the WYRZ Hendricks County Game of the Week. Dawson Anderson has put on a clinic tonight. He has 3 touchdowns, and Landon Williams has 3 extra points, so it's a 21-0 game so far. So let's see, Williams tends to squib it. This time he kicks deep, and it is it's fielded at the 2, brought up to the 10, 15, 20, 25, and then he's brought down about the 27. So, Franklin takes over on offense. Nice tackle there by Brayton Weihinger, who's really really been someone who's increased his contribution to the team this year. You know, they were counting on big things for him last year as a junior, but he suffered a broken leg in the JV game against Decatur Central. He's come back strong this year, and he's made a lot of valuable contributions there on defense and special teams. And now we've got a rush up the middle of about 2 yards there for Franklin by Hunter Samples, a sophomore, 5'5", 152. So got a couple of really undersized running backs in this game. Tavian Gadia for Plainfield as well. So now, see, we've got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Byerly in shotgun with 1 running back. 10:20 to go here. Franklin desperately try to get something going. This time he got a handoff, and he's got some room on the right side. He's got the first down, gets out of bounds just shy of the 40. That was Ranger Sootz. You know, those are Ranger Soot's first carries of the season are tonight. Maybe he's been injured. I know he played a lot last year in that game that I commentated down at Franklin. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff there, I believe that was Sootz again. And he's up for 2 or 3 yards. Okay, they marked him down 3rd and 1 on the last play. They didn't give him as good a spot as I thought, but he did get a first down that time. He gets about 3 up the middle. So 10:08 to go. The clock stops to move the chains. Franklin moved the ball pretty well on their second drive, but then they hurt themselves with at the second possession, the third possession was the interception. On the second possession, they moved the ball well, got 3 or 4 first downs, but then ended up punting after a 10-yard loss on a bad snap. So and now they got a sack there. Byerly looked for a man open, couldn't find anybody, and he's going to be brought down for a gain of maybe 8 or so. So, Plainfield, every time Franklin makes a good play, Plainfield is there to, give the Grizzly Cubs a setback. 9:25 to go in the quarter. 7:37 your time of day. So now 2 receivers to the left. 2 receivers to the right, Noah Crow, wide receiver to the left. 1 running back. High snap. And now Fentano fakes the handoff. Byerly takes it himself. He goes over to the right side, and he's got a good pickup of about 8 or so, but he's still going to be, it's going to still be 3rd and long because they were down to 2nd and 16 after that sack. Dorsett was in there on the stop. He's the one who had the interception as well. 8:58 to go now. So very critical 3rd down for the Grizzly Cubs. They're already down by 3 possessions. They don't want to make it 4. Plainfield has scored on 3 of their 4 possessions tonight. And, very easily in each case. Take away the 1 bad snap, that could be 4 for 4. So now fakes the handoff. But this time they're ready for him. Byerly, kept it again. He ran over to his right looking for room, but he got crunched by 2 or 3 Quakers. So that'll bring up 4th and long. And it looks like the Grizzly Cubs are going to punt. It would be very high risk to go for it back at their own 39. 8:19 to go here in the quarter. So back deep to receive for the Quakers, we have Logan Burden. He is a junior. And Burden, it bounces at about the 34, and it hits somebody. I couldn't tell if it was a Quaker or a Grizzly Cub. Nevertheless, a ball now touched at the 29 by a Franklin player. And apparently the officials are marking it at the 29. I could have sworn it hit somebody. I couldn't tell from my vantage point. But it looked to me like after the bounce, after the ball hit the ground, the bouncing pattern changed a lot. That would be, attributable to somebody touching it. But I guess the referee either didn't see it or decided that didn't happen. So 7:51 to go. Your Quakers take over on their own 24, trying to take a 4-possession lead. Handoff there to, who was that? That was Anderson. It gets up about 4, maybe 5.
Anderson on the carry for the Quakers. Tackle on the play by number 21, Cole.
2 receivers now to the left, 1 to the right. Anderson, the running back, Slayton in shotgun. Now Slayton looks over to the sideline. 14 on the play clock. Takes a snap. Hands off to Anderson. He's got a hole up the middle. He's past the 35. He's got the first down, and he plows his way forward past the 40. Great second and third effort there by Anderson. He got at least 4 yards after contact there. So 7:02 to go. The clock stops to move the chains. It's marked at the Plainfield 41. So now we've got Ritter and Jacobs lined up to the left. 1 receiver to the right. Gadia now in there at running back. Slayton in shotgun. Low snap. Pitches over to Gadia. He's got room on the right side past the 45, 50, 45. And he's knocked out of bounds around the 45. So both Anderson and Gadia looking very good tonight. Anderson, a senior. Gavia, junior. It's going to be the featured back next year after Anderson graduates. Both men should go on to play college football. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Anderson in shotgun, Gadia the running back. So that's a Mason Burgess, one of the wide receivers lined up to the right. Now handoff to Gadia. This time he breaks through, and he's got, it looks like he's going to be just short of another first down. And he gets 8 or 9 there. So now 2 receivers to the left. Burgess to the right. Gadia in the backfield. High snap, but he gets it to Gadia, who's got the first down and maybe a yard or 2 more. So 6:13 to go now as they move the chains, almost a quarter and a half into this game. Plainfield on top of Franklin, 21-0. This is the WYRZ Hendricks County Game of the Week. It's great to have FM radio back on the airwaves here in Hendricks County the last 2 years. So 2 receivers to the left, Burgess to the right, Gadia the running back. And now pass, and it's tipped and incomplete there. Gavin Jacobs was the intended receiver. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. That's only the second pass thrown in the game by Dalton. He hasn't needed to throw. The running has been so dominant. Two receivers to the left, Burgess to the right. Handoff to Gadia. He's got a hole up the middle. He's past the 30, almost up to the 25. So it's going to be 3rd and short for the Quakers. 5:40 to go here in the quarter. Now they hurry up offense, get in the same formation again. It's the snap, handoff to Gadia, and he's got the first, and he's up past the 20 there. Now that was Anderson. Anderson's back in the game. So the 2 running backs interchangeable tonight, each very effective, even though it's Anderson who has all of the 3 touchdowns. So now 3 receivers, 2 receivers to the left, 1 Burgess to the right. Anderson, the running back. Anderson gets it, and he takes it up for about 3. That'll bring up 2nd and about 7. 5 minutes to go in the quarter now. 7:44 your time of day. Fast-paced game so far. 2 receivers now to the left of Burgess, to the right. Plainfield seems to be settled into this formation. Now Gadia's back in there at running back. Gadia gets the pitch back to the left. Yeah, they're ready for him, though, and he's brought down. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and long. Well, I'm glad that Tavian Gadia has been given the name TG-13 because maybe it'll make people here in Indianapolis forget about PG-13. And quite frankly, I think people in Indianapolis, including me, are just forgetting about the Pacers in general. But anyway, back to action here. 2 receivers to each side now. Gadia, the running back. Anderson, Slayton screen pass to his left, and it's caught, but for only a gain of a yard or two. That was Ritter. I believe, that was Ritter's first reception of the game, so it's going to be 4th down and about 5. And looks like they're going to go for a field goal here. In the absence of the Hagee brothers, the Quakers have kicked very sparsely this season. Morgan and John have combined the last 5 years that I've been commentating Plainfield ball to do the kicking. And this is going to be a 34-yard field goal attempt. It is up, and it is good. So Landon Williams, the Quakers used several kickers early on in the season. Now they've settled on Landon Williams, and he's done a very good job. He hits from 34 yards there to give the Quakers a 24-0 lead over Franklin here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com. Jimmy John's offers delivery and catering. They're located at 2683, that's 2683 East Main Street next to BW3's, and open from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Saturday. More information can be found at 837-8282, that's 837-8282, or online at jimmyjohns.com. Well, back here at Plainfield, your Quakers are having an outstanding game here on homecoming. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 24-0 in a game that's been almost flawless for the Quakers. They've had 3 Dawson Anderson rushing touchdowns and now a 34-yard field goal by Landon Williams. And now Williams kicks deep. It's fielded there at about the 16, brought up to the 25 by McCann. Now up to the 30. He's got some room on the right side past the 35, about up to the 40 before he's finally brought down. So Plainfield, it's still, by the skin of their teeth, it's still a 3-possession game. They could tie with 3 touchdowns and 3 successful 2-point conversions. So not quite as bad that they gave up the field goal there rather than the touchdown. But still, they are in a very deep hole. They need to get something going very quickly. And remember, one good thing for them is that they do get the ball first to start off the second half. So if they get a score here to close out the half, and then hold Plainfield away from scoring the rest of the half, then Franklin can make it a tight game early in the third quarter. And now a pass over there completed there to Hunter Samples. He's going to be close to the first down. It's a good pass there on the left side. So good start to the drive for the Grizzly Cubs. But yeah, a touchdown here, a touchdown to start off the third third quarter, and it would be a touchdown and field goal game at that point. Or it could be a one-possession game if they, make a couple of 2-point conversions. So Franklin trying to let this, and now we got the play whistle dead here, but Franklin trying very hard to prevent this one from slipping away. They're clearly overmatched. This is a rivalry that's been thoroughly dominated by the Quakers. They've won 19 of the last 21 meetings between these two schools. Franklin's last win in the series came 4 years ago back here at Plainfield, but it comes with a big asterisk. That was the year where the Quakers started off red hot as contenders for the Class 4A state championship, but then were decimated by injuries and lost their last 5 games of the season. And now this play whistle dead again, so 2 consecutive plays whistle dead here. But I remember one of the saddest games I ever commentated was Plainfield's sectional loss up at Lebanon that year. And what was so sad about it was that it's a game that the Quakers, I think, would have won relatively easily had they been healthy. But without Josh Miller, who's now playing at Ball State, and the dynamic duo that he and Jacob Maple, who also went on to Ball State, made in the backfield. And then without Morgan Hagee, who suffered, I believe, a broken leg, some kind of injury where he missed that game, Plainfield just, didn't quite have the personnel that night that they needed. So now a screen pass to McCann, who claws his way up for about 5 yards, bringing up 2nd and long after those 2 penalties. The clock stops with 2:06. I believe that he was pushed out of bounds right around the 50. So Franklin having the ball now at their own 49. They line up now with Blake Dicken to the right, and 2 receivers to the left. 1 running back, Byerly, screen pass, and it's bobbled and goes out of bounds, incomplete. Bringing up 3rd and long. Now, in this game so far, Franklin is actually 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions, but still, when you're a team that's really a below-average offensive team, 3rd and longs, you don't want to get in the habit of having to overcome 3rd and longs. So now McCann and Dicken lined up to the left, and we have 2 running backs. Byerly is in shotgun. The running back standing to each side of him. Now fakes the handoff. Throws downfield. He's got a man open, and it's caught inside the 30, past the 25, 20. Now inside the 10. That was Blake Dicken. A pickup of over 40 yards there. That's, I believe, the first time that Byerly's thrown deep all game, and I think it caught the Quakers by surprise because he was wide open, although it was a nice job by Brayton Vinger to make the tackle there and, avoid the touchdown. So now 1:45 to go. Dicken lined up to the right. McCann and Samples to the left. Handoff there to Sootz. He looks for him on the right side, and he's brought down, though. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. But, I might have told the story last time, I don't remember, but Brayton Vinger's dad, Greg Vinger, and I were neighbors and classmates in Madison, Indiana. We both graduated in '89. Greg was a wide receiver for the football team, and he joked to me about him being a wide receiver and both of his sons being cornerbacks. So, Brayton and then his younger brother Jace, who's on the freshman team. And now throw it into the end zone for McCann, and I think it's going to be pass interference against the Quakers. So that will be an automatic, if it's pass interference, it'll be automatic down half the distance to the goal rather than the spot foul that it is in the NFL. .7:53 your time of day. Just a slight trace of sunlight left. The Friday night lights are now on very brightly here in Franklin. So Franklin, thanks to that pass to Dicken, now looks like they, and then the pass interference penalty, looks like they might score here in the first half after all. So now we've got McCann and Dicken lined up to the left, and we've got Sootz and one other running back in the backfield. The running back standing on each side of Byerly. An even minute to go here in the second quarter here at Plainfield. Byerly takes it, looks into the end zone. He throws to McCann. Touchdown. I'm sorry, that was Dicken, excuse me. So, nevertheless, Franklin gets their first score of the game finally inside the last minute of the half. It's 24-6 with the conversion pending. I would think they would go for the 2 to make it a 2-possession game, but it looks like they are going to go for the 1 here. So attempting the extra point for Franklin, we have Spencer Downhour. He is a junior. The kick is up, and I think it was partly blocked, and it is no good. So 55.9 seconds to go here in the first half at Plainfield. Your Quakers give up their first points of the game, but they still are on top by a score of 24-6 over Franklin. Gunnell and Kinnaman financial, accounting, tax, and wealth managers are available to answer questions you may have when it comes to retirement. Their phone number is 317-203-4433. That's 317-203-4433. And their email is info@gkfin.com. Hoosier Tent and Party Rental is located at 101042 Bradford Road in Avon. That's 101042 Bradford Road in Avon. They've been serving Hendricks County with party rental supply since 2001. More information can be found at 317-272-9746. That's 317-272-9746. Well, back at back here at Plainfield, where your Plainfield Quakers on homecoming night are on top of the visiting Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 24-6. Franklin just having gotten their first touchdown of the game on a 4-yard pass from Byerly to Dickin here. The extra point was blocked, making the score 24-6. And now it's a squib kick that is picked up at about the 21, brought up to the 30 now, 35, 40, and down at about the 43. So now 49.9 seconds to go in the first half. Now with Plainfield having a 3-possession lead, it'll be and 2 timeouts left. It'll be interesting to see if they are content just to let the clock run out, or if they are going to just go for glory here and keep piling it on. And now a bad snap, and now they fall on it, so they avoid a disaster. Nice awareness by Slayton. He at first tried to pick it up and continue the play. Then, not able to get his balance, he wisely downed it. So now, with 28 seconds to go and a 7-yard loss there, I would guess they would probably run out the rest of the clock. There's a 5-second differential between the quarter and game clocks. One receiver at each side now, one running back, and Slayton kneels it out. So, overall, a great first half for your Plainfield Quakers. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 21-6 here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com. We'll be back with a first half recap and some other features here after these words from our sponsors. The Kevin Kersey Agency presents Hendricks County Friday Night Football on WYRZ and powered by audiosportsonline.com. Tonight's game is underwritten by the Kevin Kersey Agency of Brownsburg, Westside Plumbing, Heating and Air, UPS, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, Crane Credit Union, Wicker Construction, Gunnell and Kinnaman LLP, Jimmy John's, KJ Enterprises, and Hoosier Tent and Party Rental. The Kevin Kersey Insurance Agency of the Farmers Insurance Group helps with home, auto, life, or business needs. They're located at 840 East Northfield Drive, Suite 300 in Brownsburg, next to Bill Estes Ford. Their phone number is 317-286-3481. They're also found on Facebook at the Kevin Kersey Agency or at their website, farmersagent.com/K Kersey. That's farmersagent.com/K Kerzee. That's Kerzee. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. That's PANOONY.com. That's PANOONY.com. They're located at 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. The phone number is 317-286-3500. That's 317-286-3500. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday until 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing, Heating and Air offers residential heating and air conditioning, maintenance, repair, and replacement, and serves all of Hendricks County and West Indianapolis. Their phone number is 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. More information can be found at westsideplumbing.net and their Facebook page by searching for Westside Plumbing. The new Plainfield UPS is now hiring part-time package handlers and part-time supervisors for 3 different shifts, morning, evening, and late night. A weekly retention bonus, Pension, benefits, and college tuition reimbursements are available for part-time UPS employees. More information on available positions, online applications, and scheduling an interview can be found at upsjobs.com. That's upsjobs.com. Crane Credit Union in Plainfield offers loans, savings accounts, as well as online bill pay and banking. They're located at 905 Southfield Drive. That's 905 Southfield Drive in Avon. And their office hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4, Fridays 9 to 6, and Saturdays 9 to 12. More information can be found at cranecu.org. That's cranecu.org, cranecu.org. And their phone number is 317-838-8300. That's 317-838-8300. Crane Credit Union is a nonprofit bank. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. That's PANOONY.com, PANOONY.com. They're located at 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. That's 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Their phone number is 317-286-3500. That's 317-286-3500. They're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday open until 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing Heating and Air offers residential heating and air conditioning, maintenance, repair, and replacement, and serves all of Hendricks County and West Indianapolis. Their phone number is 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. More information can be found at westsideplumbing.net and their Facebook page by searching for Westside Plumbing. For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building homes and remodeling projects. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their phone number is 839-8353. That's 839-8353. Jimmy John's offers delivery and catering. They're located at 2683 East Main next to BW3s and open from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Saturday. More information can be found at 837-8282. That's 837-8282, or online at jimmyjohns.com. That's jimmyjohns.com. Gunnell and Kinnaman Financial Accounting, Tax, and Wealth Managers is available to answer questions you might have when it comes to retirement. Their phone number is 317-203-4433, 317-203-4433, and their email is info@gkfin.com. That's info@gkfin.com. Hoosier Tent and Party Rental is located at 101042 Bradford Road in Avon. That's 101042 Bradford Road in Avon, and has been serving Hendricks County with party rental supplies since 2001. More information can be found at 317-272-9746. That's 317-272-9746. Well, back here at Plainfield, here in the Hendricks County Game of the Week, where your Plainfield Quakers are off to an outstanding start. Here at halftime, they lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs by a score of 24-6. It's a game that Plainfield has thoroughly dominated from the start, and barring a major collapse, should run away with and really put away out of reach in the third quarter. And we'll have more information, including stats and a scoring recap shortly. But first, in a special halftime feature, cameraman Doug Edens is going to get you up to date on what's going on here in Hendricks County. Doug?
Well, thank you very much, Lec. It's always good to be back with you in audiosportsonline.com. Halftime, Quakers leading 24-6 over Franklin. And it was a great tribute that they paid to the late former coach Ivan Albright's 1966 team, the class of 67. Their record-setting 9-1 squad. In fact, one of their members still holds a school record. The late Jerry McCollum holds the mark for 10 extra point kicks in a game. So again, congratulations to them. Good to see them back in action somewhat. Anyway, tonight, the Franklin Grizzly Cubs, they enter tonight's contest with a new head coach in Chris Call, formerly of Tri-West. Call inherits a program that's been down on its luck as of late. They've only had 3 winning regular seasons since 2000, and they've had back-to-back 1-9 marks prior to Call coming on board. After 3 different head coaches, their program has gone a combined 53 and 122, but they did have a sectional runner-up in 2006. Overall, the Cubs have a single sectional championship in 3A, won in 1984. But Chris Call isn't just any varsity coaching veteran. Call's Tri-West Bruins, in his 11 seasons as head man, he was 79 and 43, and in 2014 they won the Class 3A state championship, losing but 1 game in that particular campaign. Postseason success isn't anything new to this man. Call will definitely have his work cut out for him. The Quakers have an overall mark of 26 wins and 7 losses in this series. They're 15-2 since 2000 under Quaker coach Chuck Schwannekamp, that Class 4A state runner-up squad. Overall, they've been playing since 1983, and all 4 former Quaker coaches have winning records against the Cubs. In fact, both Schwannekamp and current coach Brian Woodard are 20-5 against Franklin. And, of course, last year, Franklin lost to the Quakers 55-27. So let's take a look at the Mid-State Conference, the standings. Decatur Central and Greenwood, who are playing tonight, are both 5-1. Decatur, the only one perfect in the loop thus far at 4-0. Plainfield is 3-3. They're in second place. Actually, they're in tied for third with Greenwood, who both of them are 2-1. Martinsville is at 2-2. They've kind of come alive. They won their last 2 after going 0-4, and they're 2-4 currently on the season. Franklin, coming into tonight's game, is 1-5. They're 1-2 in the conference, as is Whiteland, 1-2 in the conference. They're also 1-5. Mooresville is at the bottom at 0-6. And, of course, let's take a look very quickly at the results. Decatur over the Quakers last week, 63-28. Plainfield drops to 3-3. Ben Slayton passed for a touchdown, and he also had a touchdown run. Dawson Anderson had a couple of touchdowns in that game. 2 Ben Slayton passes were intercepted for scores. Franklin over Mooresville, 52-14. They were up 38-7 at the half. Were never seriously threatened. Chris Call looking like he's doing some magic there on the south side. Martinsville over Whiteland last Friday night, 43-33. Arties win their second straight. They overcame a 26-17 halftime deficit. Jonathan Collier threw 4 touchdowns, 16-21, 258 yards. Greenwood got back on the winning track after their embarrassing loss here 2 weeks ago for homecoming. 27-6, the final over Paoli. They were Seth Gallman was 9-15 for a touchdown to Connor Batino, and Nick Willem led the ground game, and he scored all 3 of the remaining touchdowns. In the county, Fishers upsets Avon 35-28. The Orioles are 4-2 right now. Avon had a 22-20 halftime lead, but Fishers held the Orioles to 2 Justin Herdorn field goals in the second half, and their quarterback, John Vore, hit a pair of scoring throws for the comeback win. Brownsburg defeated Westfield 41-7. They ruined the Shamrocks' homecoming. Kyle Strakus hit a pair of touchdown passes to Lee Nuttall, 14 of 23 passing, 223 yards. Cascade even their record at 3-3 with a 21-17 victory over Owen Valley. They were 21-0 leaders at the half, and they fought off a furious Patriots rally in the second half. Danville remains unbeaten. They won 48-7 over Southmont. They are perfect at 6-0. Toby Highland, 15 of 19 passing, 323 yards, 5 touchdowns. Zach Luke and Ben Stevens, Mark Broderick, and Alec Burton had scoring grabs, with Stevens grabbing 2 of them. Highland and Alex Skinner also had touchdown runs. Lebanon holds off Tri-West 28-25. They rallied from a 21-0 and 28-7 deficit to come within a field goal and a homecoming victory over visiting Lebanon. Sam Fulton, Logan Blake, and Tyler Watson tallied on the ground. Alex King added a 38-yard field goal in a losing effort. Continuing on with more halftime just before we return to second half action. Decatur, they're at Greenwood tonight. Next Friday, they host Roncalli, who's number 1 in 5A, and they close the season hosting Franklin. Franklin, of course, next Friday will be hosting Greenwood. Greenwood, next Friday they will be at Franklin, and they will be closing the season hosting Whiteland. Mooresville, they're tonight at Indianapolis Manual. Next Friday night they'll host Mooresville. They'll close the season right here with the Quakers. And Mooresville, tonight they're hosting Whiteland. Next Friday night they're at Martinsville. They close the season at Beech Grove. Of course, for the Quakers, next Friday night they will be at Whiteland. They will close the season right here hosting Martinsville, and we will be there doing all the play-by-play action for you. Whiteland is at Mooresville tonight. They are hosting us next Friday night, and they close the season at Greenwood. Now, the Hendricks County remaining schedule for Avon, they're at 4-2. They host Westfield tonight. Next Friday, they're at Zionsville. They close the regular season hosting Noblesville. Brownsburg is at 4-2. They host Zionsville tonight. They're at Noblesville next Friday night, and they close the season hosting Hamilton Southeastern, who's really taking a tumble. I think they're only 2-4, if not 1-5. Cascade at 3-3. Tonight they host Indian Creek. Next Friday night they host Edgewood, and they close the season with a conference playoff to be determined later. And Danville, they're at Frankfort tonight. Next Friday night they're hosting Western Boone. They close the season at North Montgomery. Tri-West tonight they're 1-5. They're at North Montgomery tonight. Next Friday night, they host Crawfordsville. They close the season at Southmont. And the Mid-State ranks, according to the AP poll that was taken here this last week, in 5A class, I got that right. Decatur Central is number 5 in 5A. Plainfield is number 15 in 5A. And Greenwood is tied at 10th in 4A with Fort Wayne Lures in the Mid-State. The county rankings, according to the AP poll, in 6A, Avon is number 10. In 6A, Brownsburg is number 16. In 3A, Danville is 4th ranked. Of course, being unbeaten helps them. Of course, the Quakers are 15th in 5A, as I mentioned before. The sectional draw will be announced on Sunday, so we won't know anything right away, but Lec and I were talking just before we opened the broadcast, and the Quakers are in a very, very tough sectional, to say the least. You've got 3 ranked opponents in Roncalli, top ranked in 5A. Decatur is, 5th in 5A. Cathedral, I think they're 6th in 5A. I think Lec mentioned that. And then, of course, there's Tech and the Quakers. So it's a very weird setup, 5 games. And there, of course, will be a bye. And I believe one year Plainfield had a bye. I'm not sure when that was. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And it's going to be a meat grinder. Maybe, hopefully, the Plainfield will get a bye and let those ruffians beat up on each other, and have a little bit easier time of it in the sectional draw. But again, I wanted to also mention that this year is the 45th anniversary, the class reunion of the class of '72, who I'm friends with. The fall of '71, they were 10-0. They averaged 29 points a game. They gave up an average of 8 points a game. So needless to say, they were very, very fun to watch. I was privileged to encounter some of those games. One of them, of course, was halftime when they played Greenwood back in 1971. They won that one 42-28, and it was one of the most exciting homecoming games that a lot of people witnessed in a lot of years. And that was coming from kids 4 and 5 years, even 10 years younger than that, who managed to attend the game. And so that was great to see them. And, again, a good friend of mine on that 71 team, 10-0, Dave Pilcher, was the most valuable player. He was an inside linebacker, and he highlighted his career at inside linebacker as the signal caller, he and the late Paul Oliphant. But Dave Pilcher lives just west of here, Clayton. He married a classmate of mine, Sharon Smith, who was a cheerleader. So that was kind of neat. Just too bad that we didn't have more victories for Susan to cheer than they did. They were amazing. They had a 20-2 basketball mark as well. So it's a great class. A lot of fun. A lot of fun that way. And Pilcher intercepted a pass against Mooresville and ran it back for a touchdown. Just a big thrill for anybody on defense to be able to do that. So Lec is getting ready here And, again, standings, again, Decatur Central is at 5-1. Greenwood is at 5-1. Both are tied overall for the lead in the mid-state, but Decatur is unbeaten in the loop, and Greenwood Plainfield coming up second with 2-1 victory, 2-1 marks. Martinsville 2-2, Franklin and Whiteland 1-2. Mooresville has yet to win. And now, my friends, for the second half kickoff, all the play-by-play, the award-winning Lec Zorn. And, you know, he's winning an honorary diploma from this school. I told him at least they could do is get him a baseball cap or maybe a sweatshirt or a T-shirt. Lec, I turn it over to you, my friend.
Well, thank you, Doug, for that great halftime feature. And I'll tell you, I'm waiting for an honorary diploma, not only from Plainfield, but also from Cascade. Plainfield and Cascade are my two homes away from home. So, anyway, take a look at what happened in the first half. With 9:28 to go in the first quarter, Plainfield opened the scoring on a 1-yard touchdown run by Dawson Anderson. Added another touchdown on a 4-yard run by Anderson with 6:55 to go in the quarter, and then another touchdown on a 2-yard run by Anderson with 10:59 to go in the third quarter. Landon Williams was good on all 3 extra points, and then Williams added a 33-yard field goal with 3:28 to go in the second quarter, and finally Franklin got their first score of the game on a 4-yard touchdown pass from Drew Byerly to Blake Dicken with 56 seconds left in the quarter, bringing us to our current score of 26-4. Nate Dalton only 3 passes in the first half, completed 2 of them for 9 yards. Dawson Anderson and Tavian Gadio terrors on the ground. Anderson 17 for 148, and Gadia 7 for 74. So now to kick off the second half here, it's a deep kick by Williams, and it's picked up near the end zone at about the 2, right up to the 10, 15, 20, and he brought down just shy of the 25. So Franklin needs to get something going. Drew Byerly in the first half, 7 for 13. He completed 7 of 13 passes for 92 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They weren't able to get much going on the ground as a team, only 16 for 18. Byerly had the most success running at 7. He went 7 for 25. So now one receiver to each side, one running back to each side. And now Byerly, screen pass complete, and it is dropped there by Ranger Soots. So it's definitely things not off to. Franklin's just, been a little bit off all night. And, some of their passes, it just seemed like there just wasn't, real good. That the receivers and weren't really in sync with Byerly. So we'll see if they get that straightened out here. So now another run, and this time he's got a first down, spins around and gets up about 12 or 13. So that's a much-needed first down for the Grizzly Cubs, who've really, struggled to maintain drives here in this game so far. So that'll bring up 1st and 10 at the 38 for Franklin. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff, and he is about to run into, that was Fromer. He ran to his left and he saw he was covered, then he ran up the middle, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage or gained 1. So, 2nd and 11 for the Grizzly Cubs. 11:05 to go here in the third quarter. Really desperately need a score on this drive if they want to stay in this game. So Noah Crow lines up to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Fromer in the backfield, high snap. And now a pass up the middle. It's incomplete again, and now we got a flag there. The intended receiver was Jacob Jones, a sophomore tight end. Well, I think they're saying he was held. I think it's going to be pass interference against the So it's against the Quakers. Pass interference against the Quakers. So that's a 15-yard penalty there. So and the Grizzly Cubs being in the situation they were in, they'll take all the free yards they can get. Franklin got their first win of the season last week against Mooresville, a winless team, 52-14. That's almost identical to the score by which Plainfield beat Mooresville, 54-14. So now Byerly throws, and it's nearly intercepted. It was intended for Noah Crow. He tried to hit him around the 35. It was well covered there by the Quakers. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Franklin has the ball at the Plainfield 48. 10:47 to go here in the third quarter at Plainfield on homecoming night. The Quakers leading Franklin by a score of 24-6. 8:21 your time of day. Now handoff there. I believe that was Fromer again, who gets up. They might have just gained a yard or two. Fromer in the first half was 4 for 14 with a long of 7. So that'll bring up 3rd and 9. So they give Fromer credit for just 1. Franklin was actually 4 of 7 on third down conversions in the first half, but still had trouble maintaining and sustaining drives. So McCann and Samples now lined up to the right. Crow to the left. Fromer in the backfield. Byerly gets it. He throws down the right side. He's got, and it's just too far to the right, and it goes out of bounds, bringing up 4th and 9. So now, very critical period of the game for the Grizzly Cubs. It looks like they are going to punt with an even 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. So down hour to punt for the Grizzly Cubs. Burden back deep to receive for Plainfield. He takes it, and it goes off his fingertips. It's a live ball, and Franklin's recovered. So blunder by the Plainfield, one of the few mistakes. And now we got a flag, so let's see what ends up happening here. Oh, Burden should have just let it go. It went off his fingertips and appeared to be recovered by Franklin, but it's going to be a penalty against the Quakers. Let's see what the outcome of the play is. We got 4 officials deliberating now, standing at the 25. And while that's going on, let me take a look, try to get some other scores here, particularly the Hendricks County games. It's going to be holding against Plainfield. Okay, so they're saying that Plainfield did recover. It looked to me like a Grizzly Cub picked it up. Nevertheless, it was a very dangerous play by Burden. So the Quakers started in bad field position, but that hasn't deterred them much in this game. So now Jacobs to the left. Jacobs to the right, 2 receivers to the left. And now handoff there. I believe that's Gadia in there, and he picks up 3 or 4. No, it's Anderson, excuse me. So they give him credit for 2 on that one. But anyway, Avon at the half leads Westfield 17-6. Westfield won the Class 5A state championship last year, moved to Class 6A this year. But Avon's getting the best of that one so far. Ben Davis leading Carmel at the half, 21-10. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Anderson gets it. He fumbles. It's a live ball, and the Grizzly Cubs have it. Huge break for Franklin. A rare mistake made by the Quakers. Wow, so the muff by Burden on the punt return, and now the fumble by Anderson recovered by Franklin. So Plainfield, it's I know it's not intentional, but it's almost like they're trying to let Franklin make a game of it. not likely that Plainfield's going to lose, but still, you want to see good execution from start to finish, no matter how much your team is ahead. Anderson was 17 for 148 and 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Definitely a guy you win on your high school fantasy team this week. So now, on the other end, Briley gets it. He's looks for a receiver, doesn't have anyone, so he takes it himself. He might have the first. It's going to be real close. Yes, he moves the chains, so all of a sudden, Franklin has it in the red zone at the 19, trying to make it a 2-possession game with 9:03 to go here and counting in the third quarter. Center Grove over Pike at the half, 14-0. Owen Valley playing Cloverdale, two teams who I've commentated against Cascade this year. 2 Cascade wins, in fact. Owen Valley leading that one in the second, 9-7. Owen Valley is where he was last week down in Spencer. So now a handoff to Fromer. He takes it on the right side. He's got some room. He's going to be close to the first down. He might be inside the 10. So suddenly Franklin starting to breathe new life. In the first half, they were outgained almost an even 2-1. Plainfield 212 yards from scrimmage. Franklin 110. They were pretty even on time of possession. Franklin was 12-46, Plainfield 11-14. So one receiver to each side now. Now handoff there to Fromer. He might have just gotten the first down. He took it straight up the middle. Stayed on his feet for several seconds after contact. And let's see, I think they are going to mark it for the clock stops here with 7:56 to go. Eastern Green leading Edinburgh in the second 40-8. Edinburgh might be the worst team in the state this year. They got into semi-decency there for a while earlier in this decade, but they've really fallen to the bottom again this year. So really sad to see. Hopefully they'll bounce back. So Dickin now to the left, another receiver to the right, 2 running backs, and throws into the end zone, but it's just, I know we got another flag, though. Let's see if that's going to be another pass interference. There have already been 2 of them against Plainfield in this game. Only 5 penalties, though, total between the two teams in the first half for a total of 23 yards. This one's going to go against Franklin, though. Wow, what a season Danville is having. Even though they're in Class 3A, who knows, they might be the best team in the county. They lead Frankfort, the Hot Dogs, at the half by a score of 48-0. Danville coming into that game ranked number 4 in the state in Class 3A. They're about to go to 7-0. And then Roncalli, who beat Plainfield a few weeks ago and is in Plainfield sectional, now the number 1 team in Class 5A. They lead the Class 6A Fishers Tigers 14-10 at the half. Now, handoff there, I believe, that's Fromer. He takes it up into about the 9, so that'll be a second and goal at about the 9 for the Grizzly Cubs, 7:33 to go. Hamilton Southeastern, another Audio Sports Online school, trailing at the half to Noblesville, 10-2. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs. High snap. Byerly, screen pass to Fromer. He's got some room on the right side, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So we got a game here in Plainfield after all with 6:59 to go in the third quarter. It's now back. It's down to 2 possessions. Plainfield's still on top, but the lead's been cut to 24-12 with the conversion pending. So suddenly, there's a lot of silence here on the Plainfield side of the field. Again, they're probably not going to lose this game, but still, you don't want the kind of letdown that you've seen by the Quakers here for about the last quarter's worth of action. So now, down hour on the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. So 6:59 to go, and Plainfield trying to keep this one in their control. They lead Franklin 24-13. Here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on audiosportsonline.com. We're coming to you live here from Plainfield. This is 98.9 WYRZ LP Brownsburg. Had a great time bringing to you all these Hendricks County games here in the last couple of years. Baseball, football, basketball. Look forward to continuing to do it for a long time. We're going to have basketball starting in just about 6 weeks. And then, of course, still a lot more football ahead. We have 2 more weeks of the regular season after tonight, followed by the playoffs, of course. It looks like we very well could have several Hendricks County teams making deep tournament runs. Thank you very much. Warren Central leading Lawrence North 35-0 in the second. Lebanon over Crawfordsville 14-0. Lebanon over Crawfordsville 42-0 at the half. And now here's a deep kick there by Dan Auer. It's picked up at the 15, brought up to the 20, 25, 30, and down at the 32. So Plainfield takes over, 6:54 to go here, trying to get the momentum back. They jump up to a 24-0 lead. Now they've given up 2 touchdowns in a row. So far, Plainfield has rushed 29 times, passed only 3. And they've averaged about 8 yards a rush tonight. So now, handoff to Anderson. They're ready for him, and he's brought down at about the line of scrimmage. Boy, in the early going, Franklin had no answers at all for the outstanding rushing offense of the Quakers. Let's see if it gets better here in the second half. So now, screen pass complete, and it's going to be brought up to, I believe that was McCarty. It's going to be brought up close to the line of, no, this is Mason Burgess, excuse me. It's a gain of about 8 or 9, so it's going to be 3rd and short. I apologize there. I just, my headphones popped off while I was trying to adjust them. It looks like it's going to be a measurement. Yeah, it looks to me like he might have it. I think he might be 6 inches short, but it's real close. So it's 6:15 to go here in the third quarter. The clock stopped. Plainfield still leading 24-13. But anyway, Lebanon Crawford, and the game probably doesn't arouse a whole lot of interest here in Hendricks County. But I mentioned that because of Crawfordsville, the Athenians are the only team I've ever commentated. And Plainfield does have the first down. But Crawfordsville is the only team I've ever commentated that runs a 2-quarterback offense. That is, they line up 2 quarterbacks in shotgun. So you never know which quarterback is going to get the snap. So they don't have very good personnel, or at least they didn't last year when I commentated them. Based on their 0-6 record, they apparently don't this year either. But with the right personnel, that might be able to work. They're the only team I've ever seen run a 2-quarterback offense at any level. So now, take the handoff to Gadia, complete a pass there, and that's got another first down on a dive there. That was Tice Farrell. I don't recall calling his name this season. He wears number 80. He's a 6'2", 215-pound sophomore, so guy they'll be looking for big things out of over the next couple of years. And now a handoff there to Gadia. He's got some room on the right side. He's past the 40 up to about the 39. So we got a first down there. And yeah, that was Farrell's first reception of the season. And by the way, I've been meaning to say this for ever since it happened back in the second quarter. Hold that thought now. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gadia gets the handoff, and he gets up for about another 5, so it'll be about 2nd and 5, 5:40 to go. Plainfield starting to get the momentum back. They moved the ball well on this drive. But, that field goal attempt by Williams, that was the first field goal attempted all season by the Quakers. And their opponents have only attempted 2 field goals, so It's surprising. Field goals are much more rare in high school football than college or pro, but still you expect to see a little more than that. So now another handoff. Anderson back into the game. He takes it up close to the first down. He's going to be down at about the 30, so that'll be 3rd and 1. But, there are high school football teams that just never kick at all, and they go for a 2-point conversion on every touchdown. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gadia, the running back. Slayton in shotgun. Now turns over to the right for instructions. Looking over to the sideline, 4:42 to go and counting. Trying to get a 3-possession lead back that would put them in firm control of this game. Takes a snap. Hands off to Anderson, and he's got some room over the right side. He's got the first down and more, out of bounds at about the 20. So the dynamic backfield duo of Anderson and Gadia been interchangeable all night. I don't think they've ever both played on the same play. They've just, come in for each other regularly, and each has done a stellar job. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hand off to Anderson again. He goes up the middle, now over to the right. He's got some room. He's inside the 10. He's got another first down, I believe. So 4:15 to go, and the Quakers knocking on the door of getting that 3-possession lead back. Well, for the first time all season, my alma mater and hold that thought. So now we've got Burgess lined up to the right, Ritter and Jacobs to the left, Gadia, the running back, Slayton in shotgun. And now Slayton, apparently there's some confusion. He looks like he's taking signals from the coaching staff. Now gets back in his stance. 4 seconds on the play clock. Hands off to Gadia, and he breaks through. He goes toward the end zone, and he's down at the 1 or 2. Well, the first 3 touchdowns went to Anderson, and now let's see if Gadia will get one. No, but Anderson is back in now. So now we've got Ritter and Jacobs lined up to the right. Anderson there, the only running back. And now Anderson's taking the snap, and he takes it, and he dives at the end zone. I think he's going to be a yard short. He suddenly put on the brakes to avoid a tackler, then dove, but he's just maybe a foot short. 3:33 to go now, 3rd and goal at the 1. So now same formation. Anderson takes the direct snap. He charges, and he's into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the game. So that goes a long way towards sealing it. Even without the conversion being attempted, it's back to a 3-possession lead with 3:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to the WYRZ Hendricks County Game of the Week here on 98.9 FM WYRZ LP Brownsburg, the voice of Hendricks County. So now Landon Williams goes for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So Williams 21 for 21 on the season on extra points. And, it's really odd that, it took 7 weeks for Plainfield to have their first field goal attempt, just because the last 5 years I've been commentating, and you had Morgan as the featured kicker for 3 years, then Morgan Hagee the first 3 years in that time, and then John the last 2, now both at Ball State. And Morgan being already one of the top kickers in the country, possibly being in the NFL in a couple of years. And so often Plainfield went for an unusually high number of field goals for a high school team, often out to 50 yards. And both Hagee brothers had that kind of range. So outstanding team effort so far by the Quakers, especially doing well on the ground, 38 for 270. But in contrast, Franklin 23 for 59. 8:39 your time of day, 3:20 to go now. So we got to kick off now. Brigham Anderson. It's odd. Brigham Anderson, number 93, handles the kickoffs, and Landon Williams, number 95, handles the field goals. So it's odd that both kickers, have numbers in the 90s. And the ball just blew off the tee. But anyway, for the first time all season, my alma mater, Madison, I'm seeing here on the Operation Football section of the WTHR app, and it's bad news as usual. Columbus East leads Madison 42-0 at the half. I could be wrong. I don't ever recall Madison beating Columbus East. I'm not saying they haven't, but... So now, with Burden holding the kickoff, it's a squib that goes out of bounds. Went out of bounds near the goal line, too. Madison has never beaten Jeffersonville on the field. They've played about 40 times. Madison beat Jeffersonville for the first time about 4 or 5 years ago in a game that was retroactively awarded to the Cubs by forfeit when it was revealed that Jeffersonville used an ineligible player. And to Jeffersonville's credit, they actually turned themselves in. Madison lost the game on the field 36-7. But I found out that when a game is retroactively awarded to another team by forfeit, then the official score of the game is changed to 1-0, which really one of those quirky things, doesn't make sense to me, but it's an odd technicality. So now, keeper there by Byerly as the Grizzly Cubs start off the drive. He picks up 2 or 3, 3:10 to go, and the clock keeps on ticking. The Grizzly Cubs need 3 scores. But, whenever I commentate with my buddy J.P. Sinclair, whenever I say broad ripple, he immediately shuts me up, assuming almost always correctly that his team is getting blown out. But, I'm a man of dignity, and I announce it even when my alma mater is getting humiliated. Maybe because I'm just so accustomed to it, it doesn't affect me anymore. But 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Screen pass. It's complete to Fromer, and he's got a good gain out about 12 yards close to the 50. Franklin's moved the ball fairly well on offense tonight, coming into this drive, 8 of 17 through the air from Byerly for 101 yards and 2 touchdown passes, although he did have that interception that set up the Quaker touchdown. And like I said, they've just had a hard time sustaining drives. But anyway, so now we've got McCann lined up to the left, another receiver to the right. 2 running backs, including Fromer. Now, handoff there. And he's got some room up the middle. He breaks a tackle, gets up for about 7 or 8. That was Samples, Hunter Samples, another sophomore. So some younger guys from Franklin showing some promise. And, you always have some adjustment, every time you have a new coach, as Franklin does this year. But I do think that Chris Cole will have the team turned around. It'll take a few years, and I'm sure he'll work very closely with the booster program to get it in motion. I saw him do some outstanding things there at Tri-West. So, for you Franklin fans, just be patient with him, and I think you'll be glad you did. And you'll see the results in about 2 or 3 years. So now we've got Samples again. He takes it over to the left side for it's going to be maybe a yard short of the first down. 1:20 to go here. Whiteland, Plainfield's opponent next week, leading Mooresville at the half 24-13. That would only be Whiteland's second win of the season. Keep in mind, Mooresville is winless. And now they do rush for the first down. It's Fromer there. He picks up 3 or 4. 50 seconds to go now in the third quarter. So the Quakers will have to run at least one more play here in the quarter. I'm sorry, the Grizzly Cubs, excuse me. And keep in mind, Whiteland leading Mooresville 24-13. That's the same team that this Franklin team beat last week, 52-14. The same Mooresville team that Franklin beat 52-14 last week. So now, handoff there to Fromer, and he takes it up, getting knocked out of bounds after picking up about 2 or 3 yards. Tri-West leading North Montgomery at the half 28-3. Tyler Bruce off to a slow start in this rebuilding year for the Bruins. But, Tri-West is such a great system. I'm sure they'll be back, probably on the winning track next year. They're 1-5 coming into tonight, but getting a great win against North Montgomery tonight. So now, 20.5 seconds to go in the half. Two receivers to the, and now we got a whistle here. It's delay of game against the Grizzly Cubs. So that'll back it up 5 yards. And, that thing, something like that is pure fundamentals. Delay of game. I mean, and that's the kind of mistake. I think Franklin won't be making that mistake in a year or two after they've had, they've given Coach Cole a little time to get his system in place. So now we've got Crow and McCann lined up to the right. High snap there, and throws into the end zone. Now he's got a man open. Caught by McCann, and he's they stop him at about the 3. He's stopped by two Quakers. So Franklin gets it down to the 5 this clock stops with 9.8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Franklin trying to make at least one more charge at it. Guess I'll give the Grizzly Cubs credit for still fighting hard. And now I see a cop leaving the parking lot here with its lights flashing. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But anyway, as the third quarter ends, your final score, as the third quarter ends, your score here at Plainfield, your Plainfield Quakers lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 31-13 here in the WYRZ Game of the Week. The Kevin Kersey Agency presents Hendricks County Friday Night Football on WYRZ and powered by Audiosportsonline.com. Tonight's game is underwritten by the Kevin Kersey Agency of Brownsburg, Westside Plumbing, Heating and Air, UPS, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, Crane Credit Union, Wicker Construction, Gunnell and Kinnaman LLP, Jimmy John's, KG Enterprises, and Hoosier Tent and Party Rental. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the fourth quarter with your Plainfield Quakers seemingly in solid control of this game. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 31-13 at the half. We're starting to see a fair number of fans file out of here now. You don't see a whole lot of that usually in high school games. But, wow, we're seeing a lot of, I don't know what's going on here tonight. If there's some kind of big, thank you. But now a handoff there to Fromer. He takes it over to the left, now drives toward the end zone, and he's stopped just a little short of the goal line. But I don't know. We've got a large number of fans who are heading for the exits now from the Plainfield side. I'm not sure if there's something going on that I'm not aware of, but I'll try to find out while still paying attention to the game. So now I believe that was a keeper there by, yes, and it's a touchdown. That was Byerly. So he's been in on all 3 Franklin touchdowns tonight, the first 2 passing, this one rushing. So it's now 31-19 with the conversion pending here in the fourth quarter with 11:27 to go. Doug, do you have any idea what's going on? So anyway, and nobody looks panicked, so I don't think there's any kind of emergency, but maybe I do notice. Now the extra point is up and good there by Downhour. So he's 2 for 3 tonight. He had one of them was blocked. So with 11:27 to go, your score: Plainfield 31, Franklin 20. This is still Plainfield's to lose. They've just got to execute. Franklin's now on a 20-7 run. The temperature has dropped to 64 degrees, so maybe it's just a little too chilly to some of the fans who came dressed, in short sleeves, thinking it was going to be, hot the whole game. So we did, we're just coming off 6 consecutive days of 90-degree temperatures, which I think is the first time that's ever happened in my lifetime here in Indiana, and I'm 46, and I've lived here all my life. So, anyway.
Here's the latest.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Sorry, I was trying to grab the new stat sheet while picking up all my other ones that were flying around because we got, a heavy breeze here coming into the press box. So, part of the charm of high school ball, you get all the unexpected stuff. So now down hour to kick off. Two receivers back deep to receive for the Quakers, trying to hold on and preserve the win. It's fielded at about the 10, brought up to the 15, 20, 25, 30. Burden, takes it up past the 35, so Logan Burden there on the return. I always say, just, to help you fans remember, it's not Burton, but it's Burden, as in Eric Burden and War. At least I'm sure it helps the classic rock fans remember his name. So now we've got McCarty, McCarty, Farrell, and Farrell lined up to the right. Got Gadia there in the backfield, and then we got, I believe that's Ritter and Jacobs lined up to the left. 11:21 to go. And now, hand off to Gadia. He's got all wide open on the left side past the 40. No, I'm sorry, that was he faked it to Gadia and then gave it to Anderson, who took it up for about 10 yards. That was a Scott Amore caliber fake. For those of you who don't know, Scott Amore was a senior quarterback for Danville back in 2012, and he is the gold standard of handoff faking. And I use him all the time as an example. And that was my rookie year as a commentator. He ruined so many of my calls that year by his outstanding handoff fakery. So now a keeper there by Dawson Anderson. Another direct snap. He goes up the middle, then takes it over to the right side. He's got the first down and more up to about the Franklin 40. So one more score. A touchdown with or without the conversion would make it a 3-possession lead again, and that would be very hard for Franklin to come back from. Plainfield would almost have to give it away. Have a couple of turnovers or something of that magnitude. But there is a flag there. It could be coming back. Holding against the Quakers, so that'll be coming back. So 10:40 to go. Now, to the left, we've got Ritter and Jacobs. Got another receiver to the right. Now, they give it to now a keeper there by Anderson on a direct snap. He faked it to Gadia, and then Anderson took it himself, and he gets up the middle for about 10 yards. It's going to be about 5 yards short of the first. That was a replay of first down, so it'll be second now and about 5. 10:08 to go. So two receivers to the left, one to the right. Anderson in the quarterback position. And now he takes it himself. He runs immediately up the middle. He only gets about 2, though, so it'll bring up third down and about 3. Anderson has been in there playing quarterback a lot. I guess they figure that they don't need to pass tonight. Yeah, and, it reminds me of a game that I commentated back in 2013. It was Decatur Central at Mooresville. Decatur Central's quarterback was Tommy Stevens, who went on to Penn State. And but he didn't complete a pass the whole game because the Hawks were so effective on the ground. Eli Conlon, I think, had about 250 yards or so in that game. And now another rush up the middle there by Anderson, and he takes it up past the 30, so he picked up nearly 20 yards on that play. Another first down, and so the Quakers not only moving the ball but milking the clock as well. It'd be great if they could, take off another 3 or 4 minutes and then get the score, and that would virtually clinch it. But the point is, even with a Penn State-bound quarterback, Decatur Central didn't need to have a complete pass to win the game because they ran so effectively, especially with Eli Conlon, who was an outstanding running back. Probably could have played, a low-level Division I 1A school, but he chose to stay locally. He went to Marion University and then to Franklin College. So now Gadia gets it, and he takes it up for about 3 or 4. 8:44 to go now. It's 2nd and 6 at the 27. So now we've got Ritter to the left, Jacobs and one other receiver to the right. Anderson at quarterback, Gadian, the running back. And now Gadia gets it. No, it fakes to Gadia. He throws it over to Farrell, and it is incomplete. So 3rd and 6. So 3rd and 6 now. The only bad thing about that really is that the clock stops. You'd like to take a little more time off the clock, and they still could on this drive, but the main thing to avoid now is a turnover, because if you don't score any points on this drive, and Franklin can make it a one-possession game with a score, and you just don't want them to get that close. So now 2 receivers to the left, Ritter to the right. Fakes the handoff to Agadia. Anderson keeps it himself, but he only gets a couple, so it'll be 4th down. So they made a 33-yard field goal earlier by Williams. This would be a 43-yarder. I'm not sure Williams quite has that range. So let's see what they do here. The clock keeps ticking, 8:05 to go, 4th and 6. So they ended up giving Dawson credit for no gain there. So now Slayton back in the game. So we got Ritter to the left, 3 receivers to the right, Gadia the running back. And now there's a bad snap, and he narrowly dodges a sack, and he is sacked. So a turnover on downs, and Franklin has the ball with a chance to make it a one-possession game. A little too close for comfort here tonight in Plainfield. The Quakers trying to hang on. So those people who left early, they, that they might miss a real barn burner of a finale. We'll see. Nevertheless, I hope you all will stay with us here on WYRZ 98.9 FM, the voice of Hendricks County, and on Audio Sports Online. Glad to have you on both stations. So now we have McCann to the right and 2 other receivers, Samples and Dickon to the left. Fromer, the quarterback, and now a bullet pass to McCann, but it's dropped. He threw it almost immediately on the snap. So 7:44 to go, 2nd and 10 for the Grizzly Cubs at their own 34. They need 2 scores. They can tie with a field goal plus a touchdown and a successful 2-point conversion. The only thing I can think of is that, because it's just so rare that I see that many fans file out at once in a high school game, that maybe just, they figure that it's the end of the quarter, Plainfield's likely going to win, and it's just getting cold. So now a screen pass to Fromer. He gets it, breaks a couple of tackles, runs over to the left side of the field. He's got a little bit of room there, and he's out past the 40, so it's going to be 3rd and short with 7:31 to go. Franklin still in this, but they need to be playing with some urgency here as well, because they need 2 scores, and Plainfield is very good at milking the clock. Especially if they stick to rushing the rest of the game, they should be able to run out a lot of it. They've had almost all their success on the ground tonight, and they've done very well there. So now pass over, and that's complete past the 50. So it's the 1st down and more up to the 49. So another. That's the 6th 3rd down conversion in this game by the Grizzly Cubs. That's one area in which they've done very well. They're 6 for 10. But Plainfield with hold that thought. 1st and 10 at the 48 now for the Grizzly Cubs. 6:41 to go. They line up now with now they've got McCann and Dickon to the left. Nobody to the right. High snap there. But Byerly gets it. He's got plenty of time. He throws deep downfield. He's got a man open, and it's bobbled and falls to the ground incomplete. It was intended for McCann. It was touched by both McCann and I believe it was Burden as well. No, Dorset, excuse me. Dorset. So one player for each team got hands on it, but neither got the grip. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. 6:22 to go for the Grizzly Cubs, each team with all 3 timeouts. 8:59 your time of day. So now we've got Dickon to the Dickon and McCann to the left. Fromer and one other running back. Now screen pass there completed over on the left side, but he's brought down around the line of scrimmage. He took it all the way over to the left, but had nowhere to run. So that was Hunter Samples there. I think he did get out of bounds, which is good news because that does stop the clock, but it's still 3rd and 10 for the Grizzly Cubs. Let's see if they have another 3rd down conversion in them. So now we've got McCann out to the left, and then Samples and Dickon to the right. Fromer, the running back. Byerly in shotgun. Takes a snap, drops back. He's got plenty of time, rolls to his left, and he dodges a sack, throws a screen pass, and it is incomplete. I believe Fromer was the intended receiver. So that'll be 4th and 10, a very critical 4th and 10 for the Grizzly Cubs. The game very well could hinge on this play. It looks like they are going to go for it. They almost have to here. Now Byerly's over on the sidelines talking to someone on the staff. So now they let the clock or they let the play clock run down and then take their first timeout. So 6:08 to go here, and Franklin, down to possibly their last chance. I mean, if they do not get a score on this possession, there's a fair chance they won't even get the ball back. So. Overall, it's been, this reminds me of the Terre Haute. This reminds me of the at Terre Haute North game last year, in which Plainfield played like state champions in the first half, and then they seemed to get complacent and just go in cruise control in the second half, and were never seriously threatened, but just didn't. They played the second game like they had it won, and Plainfield they've played today like they had it won in the second half, and they're probably still going to win. They just let Franklin back into it a little more than I would have liked, and I think than Coach Woodard would have liked. So now we've got Samples and Dickon lined up to the right, McCann to the left, Fromer in the backfield. And now Byerly throws over the left side, and it is nearly interception. It's nearly intercepted. There was no Grizzly Cub in sight. He threw it directly to Brian Dahm of Plainfield, who dropped it. Although Plainfield takes over on downs anyway. But yeah, that was just obviously some complete lapse of communication between Byerly and whoever he had in mind to throw to, which has been a frequent problem in this game. Obviously, something that Coach Cole will be addressing over the next 6 days in practice for the Grizzly Cubs. So now Plainfield takes over, 6:04 to go. This one's theirs now. Hand off there to Anderson. He breaks a tackle and then keeps going up the middle. He picks up about 7. So good start to the drive for the Quakers. They have a little less than half of a quarter to milk now. They lead 31-20. The good thing for me about the commentator, the good thing about me from a commentator's perspective, I'll hold that thought till after this play, but 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Anderson, the running back, Slayton in shotgun. And now he turns over to the sideline, and now turns back, gets in his stance. 7 on the play clock. Takes the snap, hands off now, and they got the first. And now he pushes forward for 2 or 3 more, and he's still up. And now he pushed his way up about 5 or 6 beyond the first line, beyond the first down line. That was Dawson Anderson again. 5:12 to go. So Anderson closing in on 200 yards now. Just another day at the office by his standards. So now Jacobs and Ritter to the left, 2 receivers to the right. And it looks like both Gadia and Anderson there are in the backfield now. And Anderson's going to take the snap. He gives it to Gadia, who breaks through, and he pushes his way up forward for about 7 more inside the 30. 4:39 to go and counting here in the game. A touchdown will virtually clinch it. They give him credit for 7. So now we've got Ritter and Jacobs lined up to the left. I believe that's Burgess to the right. Gadia, the running back. Slayton in shotgun. 10 on the shot clock, on the play clock, excuse me. Takes the snap. Hands off to Gadia. He goes forward, then dodges to his left. Goes forward again. He's got the first and maybe a yard more. 3:59 to go. So Plainfield closing in on this one. I thought it was going to be clinched by the middle of the third quarter. It wasn't. But from what I was about to say a few plays ago is the good thing about it there as Anderson comes in for Gadia. The good thing about it from my standpoint as a commentator is it saves me the agony of having to call all the reserves who I'm not very familiar with. And, so now I just got the usual guys to keep track of, so that's not so hard. So Jacobson, Ritter to the right now, to the left, one receiver to the right. Fakes handoff to Gadia. Slayton rolls to his right, then dodges a sack, and but he is sacked for a loss of maybe 1 or 2. 3:28 to go, but the clock does keep on ticking. I would not be surprised if Franklin starts using their 2 remaining timeouts here to preserve the clock in case they do get the ball back. But right now they're letting it tick. So Plainfield's going to be able to let it run down about to 2:47. So now we've got Jacobs to the Jacobs and Ritter lined up to the left now, one receiver to the right. Slayton in shotgun. Anderson, the running back. Pitch back to Anderson. He's got some room over the left side past the 25. He fumbles! I think Franklin has it. They do. So we still got a ball game here with 2:46 to go. The Grizzly Cubs still with a fighting chance. Not much of a chance, but wow. So Dawson Anderson, big college prospect, the team's arguable MVP on the season, loses 2 fumbles tonight that helped the Grizzly Cubs stay in it. So 3 turnovers by the Quakers tonight, the other one being a turnover on downs. So Franklin, they're going to have to show a lot of urgency. They need 2 scores. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they need a field goal. Doesn't matter what order they come in. They have 2 timeouts, 2:46 to go, starting at their own 20. 2 receivers to the left, 2 running backs. Byerly in shotgun. He takes it, looks downfield, throws, and it is caught, and it's going to be right around the first down line. I could not tell who got it. It was right on the far side of the field. Yes, he did get the first down, so the clock stops through the change, 2:39 to go. So now we've got Dickon and McCann to the right. 2 running backs, Byerly and shotgun, 2:27 to go. He takes the snap, rolls to his right, looks deep, and he's a screen pass, and he's got it. And that was Dickon there, just shy of the 50. He falls down immediately. 1st and 10 at the Franklin 47. The clock stops through the change, 2:16 to go. And now we've got Crow lining up to the left along with Dickon and one other receiver. And now Byerly throws over to the right side. He makes the catch, and he gets out of bounds at around the 43. So the Grizzly Cubs get it inside Quaker territory, maybe a yard short of the first down. So it is going to be ruled a first down. So they got a better spot than I expected. So 1:56 to go. Franklin has it at the Plainfield 43. Franklin needs 2 scores here. They've got Dickon and McCann lined up to the left. Crow to the right. High snap, but Byerly pulls it in. And he rolls to his right. He's under pressure, and he's sacked! Huge play for the Quakers defense. 1:49 to go. Boy, did they need that one. So now the pressure cranked up on Franklin. So they send Dickon and McCann out to the right. Crow and one other receiver. And now pass to Fromer. Takes it over to the 50, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 45 or so. So it does stop the clock with 1:25 to go, but that's going to be 3rd and still about 13 or so. So that sack absolutely huge for the Quakers when Franklin was getting some momentum going on offense. And now but that's coming back. It's going to be holding against the Grizzly Cubs. So let's see where they're going to mark it. Franklin, I think they're just going to have to start going deep, which is not really their game. But, that's about the only option they have left here since they need 2 scores. I still haven't, the referee still has not marked it yet. So it's going to come back into Franklin territory here with 1:25 to go. Again, the Grizzly Cubs need 2 scores and fast. Your score, Plainfield 31, Franklin 20. The Quakers trying to give their homecoming fans a victory here. Move to 4-3 on the season with 2 games to go. And now a pass over to McCann. He's got the completion. He breaks and he's going all the way for the touchdown. So we got a game here with 1:16 to go on a 56-yard touchdown pass from Drew Byerly to Riley McCann. It's really hard to. That's a very awkward quarterback receiver tandem. But nevertheless, if the Grizzly Cubs get a 2-point conversion here, they'll be a field goal down. Yeah, they had him, and he broke. It looked like it was going to be a gain of maybe 6 or 7 yards, but McCann just turned on the accelerator, broke free, and then there was nobody between him and the end zone. So hard to believe Franklin is on a 26-7 run now. They're going to go for the 2 here. McCann to the right, 3 receivers to the left. Fromer, the running back, throws into the end zone, and it is no good. So that's big because now if Franklin gets the ball back, they will need a touchdown. And that's if they get the ball back. So with 1:15 to go, Plainfield leads Franklin 31-26. And now we got the onside kick coming up. Now, even if Plainfield recovers the onside kick, they won't be able to kneel at the clock because Franklin has 2 timeouts. So Franklin will be able to stop the clock very quickly twice. And then one kneel down by Plainfield would take it down to about maybe the 30 or 40-second mark before they would punt. And then Franklin would have no timeouts and probably have to go somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 yards. So the main thing for Plainfield at this point, just recover the ball, don't fumble. And the main thing is just no mistakes because it's Plainfield's mistakes that have given Franklin a chance to pull this out here. So now Downhour sets the ball on the tee. Looks like he's going to kick to the left, but we'll see. He does. Plainfield recovers it. I think there was a flag here. Could be offsides against the Grizzly Cubs. 1:12 to go now. Officials are deliberating now. So offsides against the Grizzly Cubs. So anyway, Plainfield will be taking over. It will be Plainfield's ball regardless with 1:12 to go. They're clinging to a 31-26 lead. They led 24-0. Then they let the Grizzly Cubs back into it amid 3 turnovers. And then a completely blown tackle on that last possession by Franklin. Okay, so it's going to be a re-kick. I thought maybe Plainfield would have the option of declining the penalty and just taking the ball, which is what I would have done. But anyway, so Franklin now, the ball backed up to the 35, but they have a second chance to the onside kick. The first onside kick was not very good. It wasn't bouncing enough, so let's see if it's better this time. Yeah, it is a better one this time. And this one, I couldn't tell. It went out of it went out of bounds. I couldn't tell if anybody grabbed it or not. So another penalty against the Grizzly Cubs. Was that another offsides? Okay, so Plainfield now is taking over on offense at the Franklin 45. They have 2 receivers out to the right. Anderson is in there at running back. I imagine they will be very conservative. And now Anderson takes it forward, and he plows his way up for about 5. So, and then Franklin quickly takes a timeout with 1:08. So they have one timeout left. And Franklin's really got to be upset now that they used that one timeout earlier. Because, if they still have that timeout now, then they could get the ball back with, just under a minute left. As it is now, they'll probably get it back with about 30 seconds left, unless Plainfield gets a first down, which is possible. I see fans, a flock of a few dozen fans filing out now. I hope they're not counting their chickens before they hatch. But 2nd and 6 when we resume play here. 1:08 to go here at Plainfield. Plainfield. Plainfield's trying to, avoid what would be a major collapse. So now Ritter and Jacobs line up to the right. Dawson Anderson playing, a quarterback now. He takes it, fakes the handoff, goes toward the first down marker himself. He's going to be about a yard or two short. So 1 minute to go, and the Grizzly Cubs use their third and final timeout. The clock stops with 58.7 seconds to go. So now the game hinges on this play for Franklin. If Plainfield gets the first down, which being that they're a great running team and, there was a good chance for, they will be able to run out the rest of the game. If not, then Franklin will still have at least one more chance. Looking at what some other scores here, Avon leads Westfield now in the third, still 17-6 the score of that game. Brownsburg got a big win tonight against Zionsville, 35-10. So John Hart continues his rebuilding this year after losing quarterback Hunter Johnson to Clemson. Indian Creek, sorry to say that Cascade not doing so well tonight. The Cadets losing to Indian Creek 22-0. I'll be commentating Cascade next week on their homecoming against Edgewood, which should be a Cadets victory. So now, looks like there was a little movement on the line, but no flag. And now we got I believe the Quakers just took a timeout. So 58.7 seconds to go. Your Quakers have the ball 3rd and 1 at the Franklin 36. Plainfield leading by a score of 31-26. The Quakers led 24-0. Franklin has gradually chipped away to get back in it. Plainfield trying to avoid the collapse. If they gain 1 yard here, they'll be able to run out the rest of the clock. But anyway, Indian Creek leading Cascade at the half, 22-0. Indian Creek, a very good program. They've done very well in the lower levels in the last decade under Coach Mike Gillen, who's now taken over at Mooresville this year after 16 consecutive winning seasons at Indian Creek. So now Ritter, Jacobson, I believe that's Ritter out to the right. And now direct snap to Anderson. He's got the first down, and we got this one. That's 6 yards up the middle by Dawson Anderson. 54.8 seconds to go. The clock stops to move. So the clock stops to move the chains, but now the Quakers will be able to kneel out the rest of the clock. So the Quakers avoid what would have been a disaster. They will get out of here with their 4th win of the season, move back above 500 with 2 games to go. It's not the way they wanted to do it, but they still have some things to work on. But you'd much rather work on them at 4-3 than 3-4. And now the fans piling out of here in droves. 30 seconds left now. And there's a kneel down, and that is it. So your Quakers get off to a red hot start, cool down, let the Grizzly Cubs back in it. But in the end, Plainfield hangs on for a 31-26 win here in the WYRZ Game of the Week. Here on 98.9 FM WYRZ, the voice of Hendricks County, and on AudioSportsOnline.com. We'll be back with the final statistics and a recap and a look ahead to next week. after these final words from our sponsors. Thanks, buddy. I'll see you next time. Since 1968, the Kersey family has been helping customers with insurance needs. They have insurance coverage for homes, autos, and recreational vehicles. They're located at 480 East Northfield Drive, Suite 300 in Brownsburg, next to Bill Estes Ford. Their phone number is 317-286-3481. That's 317-286-3481. They're also found on Facebook at the Kevin Kersey Agency, on their website at farmersagent.com/kkersey. That's farmersagent.com/KKERZEE. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found on their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. They're located at 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg. That's 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg. Their phone number is 317-286-3500. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, open till 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is looking for employees with at least 2 years of experience as a journeyman plumber. More information can be found by calling 317-445-8399. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is a supporter of community radio. The new Plainfield UPS is now hiring part-time package handlers and part-time supervisors for 3 different shifts, morning, evening, and late night. A weekly retention bonus, pension, benefits, and college tuition reimbursements are available for part-time UPS employees. More information on available positions, online applications, and scheduling an interview can be found at upsjobs.com. That's upsjobs.com. Crane Credit Union in Plainfield offers loans, saving accounts, as well as online bill pay and banking. They're located at 907 Southfield Drive in Plainfield, and their office hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4, Fridays 9 to 6, and Saturdays 9 to 12. More information can be found at cranecu.org, that's cranecu.org, and their phone number is 317-838-8300, that's 317-838-8300. Crane Credit Union is a nonprofit bank. Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg delivers to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. Pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and wings are always available. More information can be found at their Facebook page as well as their website, panuni.com. They're located at 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. Their phone number is 317-286-3500. They're open Sunday through Thursday from 9 a.m. They're open Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday open till 11 p.m. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is looking for employees with at least 2 years of experience as a journeyman plumber. More information can be found by calling 317-445-8399. That's 317-445-8399. Westside Plumbing, Heating, and Air is a supporter of community radio. For more than 2 decades, Wicker Construction has engaged in building homes and remodeling projects. Wicker Construction works closely with you, the client, to understand your lifestyle and construction needs. Their phone number is 839-8353. That's 839-8353. Jimmy John's offers delivery and catering. They're located at 2683 East Main Street next to BW3s and open from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Saturday. More information can be found at 837-8282. That's 837-8282. Or online at jimmyjohns.com. That's jimmyjohns.com. Gunnell and Kinneman Financial Accounting, Tax, and Wealth Managers is available to answer questions you may have when it comes to retirement. Their phone number is 317-203-4433. That's 317-203-4433. And their email is info@gkfin.com. That's info@gkfin.com. Hoosier Tent and Party Rental is located at 101042 Bradford Road in Avon. That's 101042 Bradford Road in Avon, and has been serving Hendricks County with party rental supply since 2001. More information can be found at 317-272-9746. That's 317-272-9746. Well, back here at Plainfield for a final time tonight, where your Quakers have survived to get a victory here in the WYRZ Game of the Week. It's a game in which Plainfield started off red hot, looking like they were going to win by at least 50. Then turned the ball over 3 times, seemed to get complacent in the second half, let Franklin back in it. But in the end, your Quakers survived to pull it out by a score of 31-26. With 9:28 to go in the first quarter, Plainfield opened the scoring on a 1-yard touchdown rush by Dawson Anderson. Landon Williams was good on the extra point, making it 7-0. Then with 6:55 to go in the quarter, Anderson scored on a 4-yard touchdown. This time Williams' extra point made it 14-0. And then finally, with 10:59 to go in the second quarter, Anderson got his 3rd touchdown of the game, this one from 2 yards. Williams' extra point made it 21-0. And with 3:28 to go in the second quarter, Landon Williams scored the first Plainfield field goal of the season. In fact, their first field goal attempt of the season. It was good from 33 yards, and that made the score 24-0 Plainfield. Finally, Franklin got their first score with 56 seconds to go in the second quarter on a 4-yard touchdown pass from Drew Byerly to Blake Dicken. Spencer Downhour's extra point attempt was blocked, making the score at halftime 24-6. Then the Quakers, following a Dawson Anderson fumble, scored their second consecutive touchdown on a 9-yard touchdown pass from Byerly to Tyler Fromer. This time Downhour was good on the extra point, making the lead 24-13. Then with 3:20 to go in the third quarter, Plainfield made it a 3-possession lead once again when Anderson scored his 4th touchdown of the game, this time from 1 yard out. Williams was good on the extra point, making it 31-13. However, Franklin would really make a game out of it in the fourth quarter. With 11:27 to go, Byerly scored on a 1-yard touchdown rush. Downhour was good on the extra point, making the score 31-20. And then following another Dawson Anderson fumble, Drew Byerly threw 56 yards to Riley McCann for a touchdown on a bizarre play in which it looked like McCann was going to get tackled for a very short gain, but he broke free and nobody was standing between him and the end zone. The 2-point conversion attempt to make it a 3-point deficit was no good, making the score 31-26. And then the onside kick attempt failed. Plainfield recovered, got 1 first down, and that was all it took to run out the clock and end the game with Plainfield leading by 31-26. A look at the statistics. Plainfield had 19 first downs, Franklin 18. Plainfield 56 rushes for 362 yards. Franklin 31 for 71. Passing yards, Plainfield 26, Franklin 266. Total offense, each team had 62 plays. Plainfield had 388 yards. Franklin had 337. Plainfield had 3 kickoff returns for 64 yards. Franklin 5 for 87 yards. Plainfield had the only interception return of the game, which was for 29 yards, which set up the second touchdown. The interception was by Colin Dorsett, by the way. Plainfield punted once for 45 yards. Franklin 3 times for an average of 38.7 yards. Plainfield fumbled 5 times, losing 2. Franklin fumbled once, losing 0. Plainfield was penalized 5 times for 53 yards. Franklin 7 for 39. Plainfield had the ball for 25 minutes and 11 seconds. Franklin for 22 minutes and 49 seconds. On third down conversions, Plainfield was 5 of 8. Franklin 6 of 11. Fourth down conversions, Plainfield 0 for 1. Franklin 0 for 2. And finally, Plainfield got in the red zone 5 times, scored all 5 times, while Franklin got into the red zone 3 times and scored every time as well. Individually, first of all, for your Plainfield Quakers, Nate Dalton, arguably the best junior quarterback in the state, only threw 6 passes tonight. It wasn't necessary because the Quakers were so dominant on the ground, though that was overshadowed by the 2 lost fumbles there that set up the 2 Franklin touchdowns. But nevertheless, Dalton, 4 of 6 through the air for 26 yards. no touchdowns, no interceptions. Mason Burgess was the leading receiver with 2 receptions for 19 yards. Tice Farrell had 1 for 6 yards, and Cade Ritter 1 for 1. On the ground, Dawson Anderson, 37 carries, 280 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And he did so good. I mean, it's easy to. Certainly, he did. He did even with the 2 fumbles. He still had a heck of a game. So obviously, even the best guys have things to work on. So that's one thing to work on for Anderson for next week. But we love you, Dawson, and we love all that you do for us. So then he was not the only triple-digit gainer for Plainfield tonight. Tavian Gadia had 13 rushes for 112 yards. No touchdowns, but, he did about as well per rush as Anderson did. So, Gadia should be a monster as the feature running back next year after Anderson goes on to play in college. Then for Franklin, Drew Brierly had 18. He completed 18 of 31 passes for 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I'm not taking anything away from Byerly, but he did compile a heck of a lot of those passing yards in the second half when Franklin virtually had to pass, and when Plainfield was giving, they seemed to be content to give up a lot of short passes. Byerly's leading receiver was Riley McCann, who had 5 receptions for 118 yards, including that 56-yard touchdown late in the game that made it a 1-possession game. Then Blake Dickon had 6 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Fromer 5 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown. And Hunter Samples had 2 receptions for 7 yards. On the ground, Fromer led the way with 13 rushes for 52 yards. Byerly had 11 for 40 and a touchdown. Hunter Samples had 5 for 13, and Blake Dickon had 1 for 2. So, in conclusion, this is a game in which Plainfield gets an A for the first half. They get a C, maybe a C minus for the second half. They got complacent, put it in cruise control, forgot what got them in the lead, got too conservative, and Franklin, well, I think one reason that Franklin was able to get so close is because they didn't have a sudden scoring barrage. Their scores were all several minutes apart, so you had to, if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't realize what they were doing, that they were getting back in it. And something to guard against. They were against a weak enough opponent tonight they could get away with it. They have 2 more games now to tune up for the playoffs. I hope they will use those games wisely. Next week they go back on the road to play Whiteland, who's they were 1-5 coming into tonight. They were leading Mooresville last I checked. Mooresville 0-6. So, and this Franklin team that we beat tonight beat Mooresville 52-14. So, Plainfield should be a heavy favorite on the road next year. Whiteland having a rare rebuilding year, having their on pace to have their first losing season, I think, in 6 or 7 years. Darren Fisher has a heck of a program there. Won 2 or 3 sectionals, but even the best programs need a year to reload once in a while. And then 2 weeks from tonight, the Quakers will be back here for Senior Day to end the regular season against the Martinsville Artesians, who I believe have just won 1 game this year. Martinsville's been a great program in recent years, but has really crashed for about the last 3. Actually, come to think of it, they're 2-4, and they're on a 2-game winning streak coming into their game against Manual tonight. One reason to take them seriously, this Franklin team, who we barely beat tonight, Martinsville beat 35-14, so maybe the Artesians are getting it turned around this year. Nevertheless, we have 2 very winnable opponents over the next 2 weeks, so we have a good chance to close out the regular season with a record of 6-3. It would be the second consecutive regular season that we finished above 500. However, it's important to remember that we play in what is for our class the sectional of death. Of the teams that we have in our sectional right now, Roncalli is the number 1 in class, number 1 in our class, Class 5A. They're number 1 in our class. They beat us 45-20. Decatur Central's in our sectional. They're ranked number 5 in our class. They beat us just last week, 63-28. And then Cathedral, I believe, is ranked number 6 in our class. They're an 11-time state champion. They don't have a good record, but that's because they play a murderous schedule. If they played the schedule that 98% of the teams in the state played, Cathedral would be undefeated. But they go out of state to play the big powers like Trinity and Louisville, Xavier and Moeller and Cincinnati, teams like that. So basically 3 of the 4 teams in our sectional are absolute marquee opponents. The other team, Arsenal Tech, is pretty bad. We beat them in the sectional pretty easily last year. We likely would beat them again this year. So what we have to hope is that this year we run into we get a good draw and run into we get the first round bye, run into Arsenal Tech in the first round, and then so we'd only have to face one of the marquee teams in the sectional, Cathedral, Roncalli, and Decatur Central, and then bring our A-plus game, hope the ball bounces our way 3 or 4 times, and because that's what it would take to win one of those games. It can be done. We just can't get complacent. We have to play strong from start to finish. And if we do that, and if we stay healthy, we got a shot. And it should be noted that the last 4 Brian Woodard teams here at Plainfield all were injury-ravaged, wrecking what were potentially deep playoff runs several of those seasons, especially in 2013, when we might have been the best team in Class 4A, which we were then in at the time. So this year we've mostly been healthy. If we keep that up and bring our A game every week, especially if we bring our A-plus game every week, and never take our foot off the accelerator until the game is over, we have a lot of potential. Next year we're going to be better if healthy, but we have a heck of a lot of potential this year. And, at times like these, I'm reminded of a comment that Byron Scott made back in 1994 when the Indiana Pacers won their first NBA playoff series. He told the guys to go, and he had won 3 championships previously with the Lakers, whereas most of the guys on the Pacers didn't have much NBA playoff experience. And he told the guys on the team, don't be satisfied just to go further than you've gone before. You have to go for the championship at all costs, because if you don't get your championships when they're available, there is no guarantee that you're going to get them later. And he spoke from his own experience that even though he did win 3 championships with the Lakers, he could have won 5. They had 2 years where they, should have won it and didn't, when they got injury ravaged, in the finals in 89 and 91. And I tell that story all the time as an example to never be satisfied just to go further than you've gone before. The Quakers have been, in Coach Woodard's first 11 years, they've been to 6 sectional championship games, lost them all, trying to get over the hump this year. So the thing is, don't be satisfied just to play well. Don't be satisfied just to give the big boys a tough fight. You got to go in there believing that you can win and not being satisfied with anything less. And if you do that, if you keep the eye of the tiger for 48 minutes, sometimes you can do more than you realize, and you can get that breakthrough win, and hopefully that's what we will do. Well, before I sign off, I just want to say one other thing, a little bit off topic. Even though I'm a very political person, I keep my politics off the air because I don't think sports and politics should be mixed. I worry about all the problems of the world and of my country during the week, and then these 2.5 hours in the under the Friday night lights, that's the time I just forget about the problems of the world and appreciate one of the things I love the most about my beloved home country and my beloved home state, which is just the pure joy and innocence of high school football. And this has been a rough week for those of us who love the sport. And I just want you all to remember that the sport is much bigger than any problems that come up. Football is going to be here 100 years from now after all this, political drama has long passed us by. And, I remember back during the when we were about to start the second Gulf War, which is right before the NCAA tournament started that year, there were a lot of people who said that the tournament should be canceled. But I read a letter to the editor from a veteran of the first Iraqi War, and he urged that the tournament be played And the reason he gave is he said that when he was serving and he would come back to the barracks, after a day at the battlefield or wherever he was, and he would see an American sporting event on TV, it would remind him how much he loved America and looked forward to coming home. And certainly this game tonight, the simple pleasure of high school football, of the Friday Night Lights, is a reminder that we have a great country that's worth fighting for. So, there's no way to smoothly transition out of that, but I'll just say that I hope you all will tune in next week, same time on audiosportsonline.com, 6:45, if you want to hear the Plainfield game at Whiteland. And then if you want to hear the WYRZ game of the week, simply tune here to 98.9 FM or WYRZ.com. And, whichever one you want to listen to, both happen to be the same place tonight. So I don't know what the WYRZ game of the week will be next week, but Plainfield will be down at Whiteland to play the Warriors. Should be a win for the Quakers. I will be out at Cascade, so we'll have another we'll have another commentator doing the Plainfield game next week. I'll be at Cascade, where the Cadets will be hosting Edgewood. Should be an easy win for the Cadets on their homecoming night. And then I will be rejoining you all 2 weeks from tonight for Senior Day here at Plainfield as the Quakers close out the regular season for what should be for what should be an easy win against the Martinsville Artesians. And one final note: Sunday afternoon, a very big day, one of my favorite days of the year, which is when the tournament pairings get announced for the high school tournament. Which was the 45th annual IHSAA state football tournament. It will air Sunday at 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. Central Time. It's going to be streamed exclusively on ihsaatv.org. That's ihsaatv.org. And there will later be a state tournament preview show, which probably will be Sunday night, but it has not been announced here on the IHSAA website. So if you want to know where the Quakers and the other Hendricks County teams are going to be starting the postseason and against whom, again, tune in Sunday at 12 p.m. on ihsaatv.org on the internet. It will not be broadcast on regular television this year. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to tune in next Friday night at 6:45 as your Plainfield Quakers challenge as the Plainfield Quakers challenge the Whiteland Warriors, and then here on WYRZ for the game of the week. And if you want to, if you just want to hear my voice next week, then go to Audio Sports Online to listen to Cascade against Edgewood. And then I will be back with you Tuesday tonight. I'll be back with you again 2 weeks from tonight at 6:45 for Plainfield versus Martinsville. Until we meet again for audiosportsonline.com and 98.9 FM WYRZ, the voice of Hendricks County, this is Lec Zorn. Good night, and go Quakers. You've been listening to the Hendricks County Friday Night Football on WYRZ and powered by audiosportsonline.com. Tonight's game was underwritten by the Kevin Kersey Agency of Brownsburg, Westside Plumbing, Heating and Air, UPS, Panuni's Pizza and Wings, Crane Credit Union, Wicker Construction, Gunnell and Kinneman LLP, Jimmy John's, KG Enterprises, and Hoosier Tent and Party Rental.